I know Claudia, she's a tough opponent, but with my team we prepare something special for her, but this is secret.
Carolina is the #2 contender. She beat a lot of good girls in the division, you know, but she didn't find nobody like me. I give my opponents a lot of pressure, and she don't know what that is.
This fight is just like any other fight, you know? The goal for myself personally is to go out there and dominate and show the world why I'm the best to ever do this, you know? And I get to prove it tonight against Jose Aldo in that octagon, and I can't wait.
O Max não sabe que ele se meteu de lutar comigo. Ele vai ver a agressividade que eu vou pra cima dele. Onde a luta estiver, ele vai estar em maus lençóis.
It is one of the biggest nights of the year in sports here in beautiful Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The world-famous Octagon has returned for the 8th time in UFC history, and this time with a main event that shapes up as one for the ages. And there he is, the man they have all come to see tonight, the King of Rio, and one of Brazil's most beloved athletes and champions, Jose Aldo Jr. His status as the greatest featherweight of all time is undisputed, and tonight his mission once again is to exit as UFC featherweight champion. But the man trying to knock him off the perch, enter Hawaiian and interim champ Max Blessed Holloway. Still just 25 years old, he has charged his way to the top 10. 10 consecutive wins. He now stands 25 minutes or fewer away from realizing the ultimate goal. Live inside a sold-out Jeunesse Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. This is UFC 212, Aldo versus Holloway. Closed captioning is available for tonight's telecast. Tonight's broadcast is available in 100% Spanish, brought to you by UFCEspanol.com. What an atmosphere in this building here tonight. And with that, welcome to UFC 212. I'm John Anik. Jose Aldo has set the standard for excellence at 145 pounds. He has proudly and ably represented this MMA-crazed nation. His future is in the UFC Hall of Fame. That said, his present could not be a whole lot more interesting. This fight tonight against the oncoming, self-believing Max Holloway, who will look to take the torch tonight and begin his own championship legacy. My broadcast partners tonight, the greatest living American, Brian Stann, perhaps the greatest bantamweight of all time, Dominic Cruz. And guys, I know you're glad you don't have to make a pick on this one tonight. It shall be done. Jose Aldo, Max Holloway for the unified title.
This is Jose Aldo's house. I mean, he is going to own this crowd that has already been deafening tonight. This kid is an athletic specimen. He is so fast, so powerful. You think the answer is to take him down? Nobody can get him down. He's got brilliant jiu-jitsu, and he's got an offensive wrestling game that we rarely see, but we may see him utilize tonight against a fellow great striker, Max Holloway. He's got power, and the thing that I love most about Jose Aldo is when the lights shine brightest for him down here in Brazil, he steps up each and every time and puts on great performances.
And then you can't forget about Max Holloway. Holloway, who also is the interim champion. He believes he's the main champion. He believes he's a new era. He calls it the blessed era. He says he's better than Jose Aldo. He uses more weapons. He switches stance. He mixes it up on the ground. He's got a nasty guillotine. But more than anything, he believes he's got this heart. He's got this determination, this chip on his shoulder from people saying, you doubt me, you doubt me. Well, what's going to happen when you stop doubting Max Holloway? Does he stay on top? Does he have a reign like Jose Aldo Jr. did? He believes so, and he wants to prove it tonight. And no featherweight in the history of the UFC has more wins than Max Holloway, and many people believe for 18 months or so, this has been the best 145-pound fighter in the world. Tonight, his chance to prove it on the road against Jose Aldo. Co-main event tonight, guys, will at least bring some clarity in the strawweight division. Both Claudia Gadelha and Karolina Kowalkiewicz challenged Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the title last year, and Dom, they know if they want to get back there in short order, tonight in this co-main event, it's one they gotta have.
Oh, this is the event to do it. I mean, these two ladies are co-headlining this event. It's a big fight. They both have lost to the champ, but Claudia Gadelha, she mixes up the takedowns better than anybody in the division. She looks extremely powerful, and she does a great job whenever she gets that body lock. But don't forget, she has power in both her hands. She mixes in the Muay Thai clinch. She mixes in the elbows. She's great, one of the best in the whole division by timing double legs, timing that takedown, and mixing it up into a striking. Claudia Gadelha is the real deal.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz has made a feast of people who have underestimated her. Every time they don't think she's that good or they're not that impressed with her, she comes out and she finds a way to win. She's an excellent competitor with very good striking, but she does her best when she can make the fight a little bit ugly. She's got excellent heart, superior conditioning, and she's got to push a tremendous pace because it's only a 3-round fight and test the cardio of Claudia Gadelha.
Well, we'll see if she is forced to lean on that patented Polish toughness here tonight. Claudia Gadelha has really invested in her training, moved to the United States. She believes this is a matchup custom-made for her here tonight. Couldn't be a whole lot louder in this building here tonight. Several great matchups coming up here on pay-per-view.
All right, here's a look at the rest of the main card, and it has been all systems go for the undefeated Minas Gerais native, Paulo Borrachinha. The 26-year-old made good on his UFC debut, producing his 9th first-round finish in as many professional fights. Tonight, he draws a fellow striker, Olawale, the Holy War Angel Bamboshe, has also stopped the opponent in the first round in all of his pro MMA wins. Also tonight, we present what will be the 25th and in all likelihood final UFC fight for Brazilian legend Vitor Belfort. The Rio de Janeiro native returns home tonight, looking to put a capstone on his Hall of Fame career. But vying to create a different narrative and mute the masses here in Rio will be former middleweight title challenger Nate Marquardt. The versatile Marquardt is also long on experience, and here on the biggest of stages, he competes in his 58th professional MMA fight. All right, coming up next, must-see TV as 7-time UFC bonus winner Eric Silva gets the spotlight in his home nation yet again. It'll be Silva's 10th UFC fight in Brazil, and it comes against the hardened Hawaiian Yancy Medeiros, for whom the Diaz brothers Nick and Nate have been a great source of information and motivation in his professional career. Tonight, Medeiros will try to make it 3 wins in his last 4. Let's get to the rules of the Octagon. 3 judges score the bout. The bout duration is 3 5-minute rounds. For championship fights and all UFC main events, we go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. The round winner gets 10 points, his or her opponent 9 or fewer, and scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression, and then Octagon control in that order.
And before we get going, figured we should let you know Brazil's athletic commission, CAB MMA, has not adopted the new unified rules for 2017 that you've seen in other markets this year. Those changes will not be in effect here tonight. The fighters have been made aware. And with that, at long last, raring to go with the main card. Good to have you with us for UFC 212. Determined to put the erratic performances of his past behind him with finality, Eric Silva got off to a good start in beating Luan Chagas. We'll see if he can keep it going against the no-nonsense Yancy Medeiros.
2 fighters willing to take the requisite risks to give fans the fights they want to see. Welterweights Eric Silva and Yancy Medeiros are like-minded individuals chasing the same goal, a defining win to kickstart a run to contention here in Rio de Janeiro.
Hoje à noite eu vou poder fazer como eu fiz da última vez. Eu vou entrar decidido para ganhar essa luta e quanto mais rápido eu finalizar essa luta, vai ser melhor para mim.
Fighting Eric in this country is even more motivating. Tonight I'm going to show my speed, my timing, and my power.
An explosive competitor who hasn't fought in Rio since submitting Josh Koscheck over 2 years ago, Eric Silva snapped a 2-fight skid with a fight of the night finish of Luan Chagas last September. And now he is back to face Hawaii's Yancy Medeiros.
Eu acho incrível o estilo de luta que o Yancy tem. Eu acho que se encaixa bastante com o meu. Eu tô muito feliz por essa luta, tô empolgado. Eu vou botar o meu ritmo e vou pressionar ele até o fim, até eu conseguir o nocaute.
A former lightweight standout who picked up 3 bonuses while competing down the division, Medeiros also raised eyebrows in his welterweight debut, earning yet another post-fight bonus for his submission finish of Sean Spencer. Now, his peers in this new weight class would be wise to start keeping tabs.
Tonight I gotta fight my fight, make Eric respect me, and show him that I belong in this division.
So here is the 29-year-old Yancy Medeiros making the walk to the octagon for a 10th time in his career. Former high school wrestler who really was buoyed by his connection with the Diaz brothers, Nick and Nate, helped him change his nutrition. After high school, this is a man who got as high as 245 pounds, initially started training to lose weight, and now feels more comfortable in this welterweight division. Realized some success at 155 pounds. So far, so good here at 170.
He says he feels great. You know, talk about rubbing off. Now training with Max Holloway. He asked to be on this card because he wanted to come here to Rio with Max, and he really feels like Max's energy and his eye for technique, his technical growth have rubbed off on him. Yancy feels reborn at 170 pounds and really feels like the collaboration and friendship with Max Holloway has helped him to open his eyes and become a better all-around fighter.
What I love about Yancy Medeiros is that body shot that he's thrown so much. He's got a nasty liver shot. He stays long. He pulls you into that liver shot. He gets you thinking about the 1-2. He gets you thinking about the teep kicks. And the next thing you know, he fakes the jab and rips it to the liver. One of his best shots, not to mention a nasty guillotine. After he rips that liver, he's going to wait for you to hunch over and try to rip your neck off. This is a scary guy. Yancy Medeiros is serious. And when I talked to him, he told me one of the biggest things he wants to point out is I'm from Hawaii. I've never been in a street fight in my life. I want to show all the youngsters, you don't just have to act like a tough guy, you have to act like a professional. He said, I don't need to street fight. Be a professional, go in there, make money for it. Don't waste your time otherwise. That's Yancy Medeiros' message to people from Hawaii.
Nice mix of knockouts and submissions. Actually, at one point, he had the shortest average fight time in UFC lightweight history. And how about his last lightweight appearance, Brian? You called it against Francisco Trinaldo. Patented Hawaii toughness and heart, rallied late to earn a bonus. Yancy Medeiros back and looking for more on the road here tonight. One of the more popular Brazilian fighters on the roster, here is Eric Silva, 14th UFC appearance here tonight, a pro dating to 2005. Big performance last time out against Luan Chagas, not without some adversity, but this is a guy who, when he is on, looks the part of a welterweight contender.
Super exciting, very athletic, broke his face in that fight against Luan Chagas and still came through with the submission in round 3 to win. He has hired a new Muay Thai coach training under Cosmo Alexander now, but his focus is no longer being on, as he called it, the wild horse. You are going to see a much more patient and technically aggressive Eric Silva. That's what he's promised for tonight. I think those are steps in the right direction for him.
Eric Silva told me that his new Tiger Gym, where he's at, allows him to be closer to his family, closer to his son, which in turn helps him to be a more mature fighter, he says. He told me that it gives him more peace. He feels stronger, he feels healthier, and he feels like he trains better when he can be around his family, and not to mention the 50 kids in his school that he's running and that he helps keep together in his own area.
You see the average fight time there, under 6.5 minutes. That is the shortest among active UFC welterweights. And when he fought Luan Chagas his last time out in September, it was the 8th time in 13 UFC fights that he fought a different opponent than originally scheduled. So there have been challenges for Eric Silva along the way. Some have questioned his chin in advance of this one. We'll see how it holds up tonight against the Hawaiian Yancy Medeiros. Good way to kick off the main card here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. All right, with that backdrop, here is the tail of the tape. For this welterweight tilt scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, Eric Silva, 32 years old. He'll be 33 in 3 weeks. Yancy Medeiros is 29. Eric Silva, 2 inches taller. Both men weighing in at the welterweight limit, 171 pounds. Medeiros will have a reach advantage of 1.5 inches. And now for the official introductions inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer.
Senhoras e senhores do Brasil, bem-vindos! Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil for UFC 212, Aldo versus Holloway. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record. 13 wins, 4 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Makaha, Hawaii, presenting Yancy Medeiros.
Love you, Hawaii.
And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record. 19 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Vila Velha, Espírito Santo, Brazil, Eric the Tiger Silva! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Eduardo Hurdy.
Eduardo Hurdy, our referee for this one, the main card opener. The beautiful Luciana Andrade with us here in Rio. Glad you are too. Camille and Jenny on hand as well. And we are ready to go from Rio. Eric Silva in the yellow trunks. Yancy Medeiros is in black. Silva in the southpaw stance. Medeiros orthodox.
Medeiros told me the key for him in this fight is he's got to pressure. Even though he saw in the last fight for Eric Silva, he saw more patient Eric Silva. He still wants to pressure him, keep his back to the fence, because he really believes that he'll still fade in round 3.
Eric could fade, but he has calmed down a lot, and he's made a lot of changes to stay calm. But more than anything, the only reason he's ever faded is because he's so quick. He might have a speed and edge, but we haven't seen Eric throw yet. We'll see when these guys start to exchange.
Silva has finished all 7 of his UFC wins, 6 of them in the first round.
Yeah, an extremely fun fighter to watch. He takes a lot of risks in there and so often puts on fight of the night style performances.
Oh, he's had so many seminal moments in the UFC. That inverted triangle against Jason High. That 52-second knockout of Takanori Sato, that set up a main event against Matt Brown back in 2014.
Well, he's showing off some really good technique here, feinting a little bit. He just looked down at the toes of Medeiros before coming up with that high kick.
Oh, he's hurt.
He got stunned.
I think he got hit with the hip of Medeiros early. I think he changed levels and Medeiros hit him with his hip, and it rocked him.
Medeiros
he's
knows
on
it.
the fence running.
Medeiros smells it. He's going to be all over him.
This is where, if you're in shape, you recover quickly if you're Eric Silva. We'll find out what kind of cardio he has, what kind of shape he's in. He's looking good. He's on his bike. That's exactly how you have to do. The second you stay stationary, you're getting eaten up by Medeiros. So good move by Eric Silva to get on his bike and get his head back together.
I'm surprised Medeiros is giving him this much room. Surprised he's not jumping on him.
I think that Medeiros doesn't want to walk into a big shot. You got to remember, I mean, Eric Silva's change of speed is so explosive. I mean, he's so explosive. You can walk into a big shot if you're not careful.
Excellent feint to set up that leg kick. Hard kick.
And given Silva's history, Dom, you got to think for the Medeiros camp, a big part of their strategy tonight was to get through these first 5 minutes. But Yancy's off to a great start here tonight.
Yeah, Yancy's doing a great job with the range and tagging him from the outside. It was a very nice spinning back fist he threw, and he's timing things well. He's just getting the range. He's trying to figure out Silva right now in his speed.
Right hand appeared to land just around the pectoral of Eric Silva. Medeiros just able to slip his head off of that center line to prevent damage being done from that right hand.
so good at timing that spin back kick.
Looked like he might have stunned Medeiros up top there. Now back to the body.
Body shots are hurting. We've seen Medeiros get hurt to the body before. I think Eric Silva's tagging in, trying to aim for it right now. Nice read on a tall man. Go for the body early. Big right hand lands. And Medeiros slings that right hand like a bat, doesn't he?
Yeah, both of these guys having success offensively. Really, whoever's moving forward seems to be the one who's landing frequently. And right now, it's Medeiros center of the octagon. But Silva's done a nice job changing pace here and breaking that rhythm at times.
Well, you see, Silva has his best offense when he's on his back foot. He explodes off that back foot. Yancey's faking, and he's able to get Eric to not be able to throw. The fakes really are stunning Eric and keeping him stuck on that back foot. He's looking for a big counter, as you see. That's what he's looking for. That's why he's leaning so much.
Medeiros has always used his length pretty well. Oh. Less than a minute now to go round one.
Oh, excellent combination there from Medeiros. Seeing a lot more of that now. Same side hand following with the same side leg. Very difficult to defend.
Well, those leg kicks are eating Medeiros up, and those hurt more than you even think, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he fires right back. I mean, those are so painful. Medeiros can't eat very many more of those. He has to start checking them correctly. And that's going to set up the high kick for Silva. That's why he went for it. The more you eat up that lead leg, it sets up the high kick and the body kicks as the fight goes on.
Sets it up behind the hands beautifully. Eric Silva going to work on that lead leg. Like to see him go back to the body, though.
Ooh, that landed! Medeiros shakes it off as if to say it didn't land flush.
Oh, it landed. I saw it. He just said, hey, I'm fine.
Awesome first round.
Outstanding pace and round for Eric Silva and Yancy Medeiros. And we will assuredly take a look at that knee.
Now here's earlier in the round where we saw Eric Silva get dropped. From that angle, you can't really see the left hand land. Here's a different angle. Watch Medeiros' left hand over the top right. He may not have been rocked there.
Yeah, I think it just clipped him. I'm pretty sure it clipped him right behind his ear. Just kind of stunned him.
Beautiful left hook from Eric Silva, who fought his way back into that round. Really back and forth.
When he throws the jab and across, you're leaving your lead hand down. That's how he caught you. Keep your both hands up. But you did well.
I think the reason we're seeing Eric Silva leave that lead hand down, he's trying to pull Medeiros in for a big counter shot. That's why he's leaning on that back foot and keeping his jab hand down. But his coach is right. He's got to keep that up because he's going to keep getting pulled into a left hook or a good jab.
That's the toughness, too, though, of changing your striking coach, right? I mean, we've seen Eric Silva drop that left hand in a lot of his fights. He's hands-down type of guy.
And there's the right hand right over the top of that jab hand.
See a concerted effort here from Medeiros after he lands to get back to his range. He's only got a 1-inch reach advantage, but definitely doesn't want to be in the pocket because, as we've seen, Eric Silva seems to be the more explosive guy.
Oh! Now Medeiros presses forward. Well, Eric Silva's chin is held up thus far.
Both of these guys' chins have held up.
Yeah, well, and people were questioning Eric Silva's chin based on the Luan Chagas fight. Luan Chagas throws some heavy, heavy heat. So,
as we saw earlier tonight.
Yeah, hard to make that a statement just off one fight.
Yancy can't eat very more of those. I'm telling you, those leg kicks are adding up, and he's eating them heavy in the worst way you can. That knee's buckling in. Good right hand.
Excellent work behind his jab here from Medeiros.
Silva just out of range with that left hand.
And this is plan B for Medeiros. Coming in, he wanted to pressure. Here in round 2, we're seeing him maintain distance a little bit more, fighting backwards. Sometimes what you expect is going to happen doesn't happen here. You've got to be able to adjust. So far, nice job by Medeiros adapting.
Oh! Oof. Big punches.
Didn't get back to his range there in that combination.
Well, it seems like the confidence has returned for Eric Silva.
I mean, you could see the blood starting to come out of the leg of Medeiros there. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. Every time he eats one of those, it's taking a toll on the power bar of Medeiros.
Oh, huge knockdown for Yancy Medeiros!
That left hook was vicious.
Eric Silva trying to recover here. That is it! Yancy Medeiros! Eric Silva doesn't like the stoppage at all as he protests, but a good start for Hawaii tonight. Yancy Medeiros coming up large on the road. Wow, what a fight as long as it lasted. This replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you, Dominic Cruz. Let's take a look at the end of the fight.
This whole thing starts with a big overhand right, and he comes right back with a super powerful left hook and floors Eric Silva, goes to the ground and pound, vicious left hook, and that was just because Eric Silva's keeping that lead arm down the way his coach was explaining to him in the pocket.
I think Eric Silva's got a case there in terms of it being a premature stoppage. He did go cross-eyed, right, but he seemed to be intelligently defending himself, but the referee, Eduardo Herdy, had seen enough. Yancy Medeiros with one of the bigger wins of his career here tonight, 2-0 since moving up to the UFC welterweight division. Heady stuff for the Hawaiian, Dom.
Yeah, I mean, that left hook that he just landed, and he'd been landing the right hand throughout the fight. He found a home for it. But really, these guys just got stuck in the pocket. They were slinging them, and it's whoever lands first in these types of scenarios. You saw that at Rocky. Both of them land the left hook, except this time it was Medeiros. Very similar to the Carlos Condit, Dan Hardy situation when Dan Hardy landed first.
Right. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Eduardo Herdy has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 1 second of round number 2, declaring the winner by TKO, Yancy Medeiros.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Yancy Medeiros. Yancy, excellent fight. Really back and forth. What was the difference for you in the second round? You really came out confident.
Estamos aqui com o vencedor Yancy Medeiros, foi uma luta excelente. O que fez a diferença ali no segundo round quando você entrou confiante?
Obrigado, Brasil! Obrigado! All respect, all respect. I love you, Hawaii. I love you, Kaya. Thank you guys so much. Eric's a pusher, and coach was telling me I was being too passive in the first round. I had to bring it the second round, and that's what it is. I believe the ref could have let him go a little bit more, but it's not my call. I mean, obrigado, Brazil. Yeah, bonita country. Thank you so much.
O meu treinador me disse que eu estava sendo um pouco passivo ali no primeiro round. O Eric é um cara muito duro. Eu acho que ele poderia aguentar um pouco mais ali, mas o árbitro parou. Não é meu trabalho encerrar a luta.
Well, it was a gorgeous combination to finish the fight. You talked about your training with Max Holloway and your technical progression. Was there something about the left hook after that overhand right that you thought was going to be there?
Tem alguma coisa sobre a sua mão esquerda depois da sua direita que entrou que você sabia que estava ali essa mão?
I train with the best fighters and martial artists in the world. Gracie Technics, West Oahu MMA, Nick Diaz Academy, on my Cali fam. I love you, boys. I love you, Hawaii. That's what it is. I got a great team. And I'm here, bro. 170 is my weight. I got that pep and that step in my stride and my glide. I'm here to represent.
Eu treino com as melhores equipes do mundo. Esse é o meu peso. Eu estou aqui para representar muito bem.
Well, incredible performance coming down here in Brazil. Congratulations, Yancy Medeiros.
So Yancy Medeiros comes through as a slight favorite here tonight. Dom, we're going to take a look at the end of the fight once again, but hard to argue with the results for Medeiros here in this welterweight division. Big, big result for him here tonight.
And this is in the pocket boxing with little tiny gloves. Overhand right, power left hook landing. You see the same combination. Carlos Condit versus Dan Hardy, except Dan Hardy landed. This time it was Medeiros. He follows up with the ground and pound. They're saying the ref maybe stopped it prematurely, but he's there to save the fighter, protect us. And he did get floored. It's hard to say, but like Yancy said, it's not his call.
That's such a hard job. I agree it was stopped early, but that is a very, very difficult call. Big performance. That is a definite step in the right direction. Medeiros looks great at 170 pounds, and he is fighting the best we've ever seen.
Capacity crowd on hand here tonight in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Among the stars that are out, the former UFC light heavyweight champion Mauricio Shogun Rua, octagon side for the festivities here tonight in Rio.
UFC 212, Aldo versus Holloway, is brought to you by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. And by Kingdom. Don't miss all new episodes of the hit MMA drama Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Audience.
In 2015, Holly Holm shocked the world when she took the bantamweight title from Ronda Rousey.
Wow, unbelievable.
On June 17th, the former champion takes on fearless brawler Batch Correia in a thrilling stylistic matchup. Plus, former champion Andrei Arlovsky faces Marcin Tybura. And Tarek Safadine takes on former UFC champion Rafael Dos Anjos. UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Correia. June 17th, only on UFC Fight Pass.
All right, so another headlining spot for the former UFC Women's Bantamweight champion Holly Holm. This one coming in Singapore in 2 weeks on UFC Fight Pass against Brazil's Betch Correia. Brian, your former teammate Holm looking for her first win, of course, since stunning Ronda Rousey in November of 2015.
I mean, look, they talk about it's easy to have great character and do well in good times. Right now, Holly Holm is trying to climb out of the depths of adversity. She's hit the roughest patch for mixed martial arts and her boxing career, and she wants this fight so bad. She's extremely motivated. She's a tricky striker. Despite being a boxing champion, her biggest weapons inside the octagon have really been her kicks and her cardio. She comes in with tremendous shape. She's physically very strong, as we've seen her able to take down women like Ronda Rousey. She's gonna need all those tools against Betch Correia.
And Betch Correia is one of those females that just likes to come forward and fight. She wants to get in the pocket. It's gonna be tough to face the person that she's facing in Holly Holm, trying to get in the pocket with the boxing. She's gonna have to kick, but more than anything, it's the power, it's the toughness, it's the durability, it's the belief. And beating somebody like Holly Holm will really bring her up in the rankings quickly. She fought Ronda Rousey, she believed in herself, she believes, I guarantee that she could beat Holly Holm, and this could easily put her back on the map with a win over somebody like Holm.
And Betch is the one with the momentum, unbeaten in her last two, including a win over Jessica Ai. So, UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Correia. The promotion's second show in Singapore 2 weeks from tonight. Also on the card, Andrei Arlovsky facing Marcin Tybura in the co-main event. Also, former lightweight champ Rafael Dos Anjos set to make his welterweight debut against Tarek Safadine. It all goes down June 17 from Singapore. You can see the entire event live and exclusively at UFCFightPass.com. Well, we now move along with live action from Rio, the first of two straight here at 185 pounds. Middleweight sluggers Paulo Borrachinha and Oluwale Bamboshe bring the offense every time they step onto the canvas. More of the same is expected when these two freight trains collide tonight.
Rising Brazilian star Paulo Borrachinha has ended all of his wins in the first round. The same goes for New York knockout artist Oluwale Bamboshe. And in this middleweight matchup, the limbs are expected to fly early and often until one of these high-octane bangers gets his hand raised.
Acho que vai ser uma batalha rápida, como eu já disse. Eu sou superior a ele, tanto em pé quanto no chão. Acho que não vou ter maiores problemas para terminar essa luta.
My battle with Paulo is pretty much going to be either a back-and-forth war, or I wouldn't be surprised if I dominated him completely. Either way, I come home with the victory.
Oluwale Bamboshe has one of the most intriguing fighting styles in the division. And if past results are any indication, it is clear that when he lands, it's usually lights out for the opposition. And that is precisely the plan he's bringing tonight when he clashes with Borrachinha.
I go into the finish, I go into the fight. Every fight for me is a championship fight. So you better be ready when you fight me, because I'm gonna bust you up.
Anderson Silva ruled the UFC's middleweight division for nearly 7 years, and some believe Paulo Borrachinha can follow in his footsteps. And while going unbeaten on the local circuit was impressive, the Minas Gerais native took expectations to a new level with his 77-second knockout of Gareth McClellan back in March. We'll see if he can follow it up here in Rio tonight.
Eu fico honrado de ser comparado com o Anderson Silva. Para mim foi dos maiores de todos os tempos. Mas eu acho que eu tenho um estilo único, um estilo próprio meu mesmo, e o estilo do Borrachinha é diferente de todos os outros lutadores.
Frankie, let's go! Come on!
So here he is, the inimitable Holy War Angel Olawale Bamboshe, 29 years old, intelligent guy, a man of faith. And Dom, I know a guy you enjoyed getting to know here in Fight Week in Rio.
Yeah, he told me that in this particular fight, if he gets taken down or if he gets the takedown, he wants to be a lion gorilla on the ground. Those were his exact words. He said he wants to set the stage for Nigeria and be the #1 guy out there in that area and build an empire for mixed martial arts. I mean, this guy's got huge ideas, huge reasons why he thinks he can do it. And you know what? You got to admire that every single time. I mean, that's what this is. It's a goal, and you go after it.
He's an outside-the-box thinker. He trained at 6 different gyms in preparation for this fight because he wants to get all the different looks and knowledge he can. But specific to this matchup, he really feels like he could surprise Borrachinha with his wrestling. He wants to land a few takedowns tonight and put Paulo Borrachinha on his back, and he believes he can catch him by surprise in doing so.
He said that the last loss he got him to change his game, fix his grappling. 14 months off he took. He said he fixed everything. He said, I've just got a new mentality, a new meaning, a new way to do this. He calls it the legendary era now. His mindset has changed. He says, this is what you got to do in order to do it. You got to change your mindset, stick to it, believe in it, and create it as a goal.
Well, it has been an interesting year for the former Ring of Combat middleweight champion. As many of our fans know, he was scheduled to fight Tom Breeze in the 4th quarter last year. That fight went away either the day before the fight or on fight day, and it allowed Bamboshe to go back to the well and make some changes. But going into his fight against Cesar Mutanchi Fajeda more than a year ago, his longest pro fight had been 3 minutes and 18 seconds. That one went the 15-minute distance. So some valuable experience gained that night for one of the fastest starters we have ever seen in this octagon.
And he admits that. He really values that loss against Cesar Fajeda and believes and took the best away from it. A lot, we always say this, right? You learn more from your losses than you do from your wins, but you've got to have the humility to actually learn from those. This young man has that, and he's got athleticism in spades. He's fast, he's tricky, and for a guy who's very confident in Borrachinha, you got to be careful coming in against Bamboshe and being too confident where you could get caught with one of those freaky kicks.
Olawale is the type of guy that if you tell him you have a chance, man, you can fly, he'll be like, you're right.
He'll go try to fly.
And he'll try to fly. He just believes in anything that he sets his mind to, and he goes all in 100%. And when you talk to him, that's exactly the vibe you get from him. I mean, you don't doubt what he believes in himself for 1 second. He believes it through and through.
Well, do me a favor later. Don't tell him he can fly, because he will try. But Olawale Bamboshe, 6 professional wins, all of them by first-round knockout or TKO. And his seminal moment in the UFC came against Daniel Sarafian back in February of 2016.
And this is just a good job by the commission here, the referees, noticing if you've got long toenails, they've got to be clipped. When you're throwing high kicks, I actually had a coach who missed. He was holding pads. He missed one of the kicks, and that toenail caught him in the eye. He lost eyesight forever in that eye. That's the reason why you're seeing this. They've got to be clipped. They've got to be short before you get in that octagon.
And how about Osiris Maia earning his money tonight, actually clipping the toenails, cleaning those up of Olawale Bamboshe. He wants to be a pioneer for Nigerians in the UFC to prove that his people can be elite in mixed martial arts. Bamboshe set to make his 4th UFC appearance here tonight in Rio de Janeiro. All right, so here is the undefeated Paulo Borrachinha, and Brian, a lot of people in Brazil and beyond wicked excited about this man after what he did in his UFC debut.
I mean, he's basically run through everybody that he's fought. He puts them away. He's a physical specimen. He's got excellent power, and for a man with this much muscle, he's actually very, very quick, very flexible. He's got to be careful, though, not to believe too much in his own height. He comes in tonight, he says, look, I look at Bamboshe, and I see a guy who's insecure. He switches his stance all the time. He's got no real base. I do feel like I can finish him quickly, almost like he's looking past him. Maybe all that's true, but at this level, you can't take any fight for granted.
I asked Borrachinha, what other reasons do you fight other than yourself? I mean, do you fight for something bigger than you? He said, actually, I do. He says, Contact Gym is where he teaches kids. It's a martial arts academy that he's invested in. He says from this fight, he'll dedicate 20% of his purse to the project called the Bohasha Brothers. And this is one of the things that he does. You see a lot of the fighters from Brazil are entrenched into their communities, trying to build them up, make them better, and he's not away from that. He's with it. He wants to move that cause, and he says he's doing this for a bigger reason than just himself.
It's absolutely a part of the mixed martial arts culture here. These social projects in the favelas where these fighters come from, doing a lot to help these young men and women get out of that. Excellent to see Paulo Borrachinha doing that.
Now, a lot of Brazilian fighters are born into this, but for Paulo Borrachinha, he was not. He turned pro the same year he started training, and you may recall he was on season 3 of The Ultimate Fighter in Brazil, and just told us he lacked experience despite the fact that he made it on the show. He gassed in the quarterfinals against Marcio Alexandre Jr., but when he made his UFC debut, he was ready for the big show, and his victim, Gareth McClellan, can certainly attest to that. Paulo Borrachinha, with the Brazilian masses behind him, set to make his second UFC appearance here tonight, and these guys stole the show at the weigh-in a day ago. Getting into it here again before this one gets going tonight. All right, the middleweights are ready to go. Here is the tail of the tape for this one. Paulo Borrachinha, 26. Olawale Bamboshe is 29. Borrachinha, taller by 2 inches. He weighed in 186 pounds, 184 for Bamboshe, who will have a whopping 6-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the particulars inside the octagon, where we find Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record, 6 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of New York, USA, by way of Lagos, Nigeria, Holloway, the Holy War Angel, Bamboshe! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a striker holding an undefeated professional record, 9 wins, no losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 184 pounds. Fighting out of Cartagena, Minas Gerais, Brazil, Paulo Borrachinha! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Big John McCarthy.
John McCarthy, our referee. Buffer, got to get out of there quickly or he's going to get some blood on that white jacket because this one has all the makings here of being outstanding for as long as it lasts. Paulo Borrachinha believes he has all the technical and physical advantages tonight. We'll see how it plays out. Borrachinha in white, Olawale Bamboshe is in black.
I think someone's going to sleep in this first round, to be honest. It's hard to say, but these guys are going to go at it very hard early.
Oh, man, beautiful right hand there from Bamboshe, and his awkward movement and style set that up well. And don't expect Bamboshe to really stop moving those feet. That's a key. Anybody who's fought Borrachinha in his earlier fights that stood still in front of him has paid a dear price.
You see how he ducks, he changes level squats, and then he just explodes forward, and it's hard to read because you don't know if he's shooting or if he's throwing a downward fist at your head and then mixing it up. He just, awkward explosion, and he's so quick that it's hard to read what he's gonna do. A lot of energy being used by Bamboshe, though, moving like this.
And there, he wanted to surprise him with the takedowns early. Ooh, beautiful right hands. Wow. It transitions right back to the double. Really nice work there.
Very nice. That's something that you see high-level heavyweights do a lot, like Cain Velasquez. They go, they punch, they go back to the takedown, go back to punching. Olawale's going for the kill early.
Nice job by Borrachinha getting that right arm up to block that head kick attempt from Bamboshe, but some swelling in and around that left eye for Paulo Borrachinha. Holy War Angel on a mission here early tonight.
He is, but he's using a ton of energy.
He's throwing so hard that it's impossible to not use energy, but he's making Borrachinha pay right now with the amount of power he's using. But he's got about a round of this. That second round is going to be tricky with the amount of energy he's using.
And Brian, you always say offensive takedowns the most exhausting thing in MMA.
They are, absolutely. He's gone for several. He's putting everything in every punch and kick. However, it's also making the bigger man Borrachinha work, and I like Bamboshe going to the body there.
And we're seeing Bohashinia slow down a little. That first explosion's starting to come out of him. The adrenaline's starting to dump a little bit, and you'll see that at exactly 2 minutes. You'll see a different pace out of Bohashinia, out of Bambose, the way that he's moving. About 2 minutes, you'll see the change in the momentum with the way that the energy's going. Bohashinia's getting hit more, but he's using far less energy right now, so he can last a little bit longer throughout this round. You're seeing the pressure now from him.
I like that he's made a real effort to attack the body of the big man here. He said he loves fighting bigger guys. He's not a big middleweight. He does not cut a lot of weight here, and he really thinks that he will enjoy a speed advantage in this division.
And now he's got Bohashinia chasing him, and that's a little risky. And Bose's doing well, but you've got to be careful walking into. Big kick landed in the body. That hurt.
Oh, he's coming back to it too.
Yeah, look at the eyes. Look at the eyes of Bambose.
Bambose swinging for the fences, nothing doing.
He's getting tired now.
Bohashinia buoyed by this crowd, inside leg kick. Wayward shot from Bambose.
Excellent shots to the body here for Bohashinia.
And now a knee upstairs. Bohashinia poured it on.
Boy, look how he's going to the body, digging those punches.
We are getting the fight we expected here. Bambose covering up, circling away, eats a kick now. And now Bambose ripping the body. Oh, big elbow from Bohashinia. Big deep breath from Olawale Bambose. Oof.
And that scramble right there is exhausting. When you go for a double and Bohashinia got that whizzer the way he did, and then you got to stand back up, that is one of the most exhausting takedowns you can go for when it gets defended with a whizzer like that, which is called the overhook.
Smart of Bohashinia, keep his weight over the head here at Bambose, try to catch his breath. He used a lot of energy there. Bambose's got the hands clasped to see if he can get his hips in to finish this. Nice job of Bohashinia. Interlace that right arm. We'll see if he can pop back up.
So nice opportunity here for Bambose and Bohashinia to get a breather. Less than 20 seconds here in round one.
Really a crazy round, right? The first 2 minutes, Bambose threw everything in the kitchen sink at him. Now gets the late takedown. You know, really, the middle of the round, Bohashinia is the aggressor, landed some heavy, heavy shots.
But now we know Bambose has a pace, a 3-minute pace. After that 3-minute mark, with 2 minutes left in the round, Bohashinia can always turn it back up.
Ooh, those are heavy legs walking back to the stool for Bambose.
Both
heavy
guys
legs.
will try to maximize these 60 seconds. What a flurry it was here at the end of round one.
And I love the young fighter in Bohashinia here, concentrating on the body shots, pulling the head down and ripping to the body. And it's just not there. He's covering up the head, so very intelligent. Keep working the body, brings the big knee, and he's trying to pace himself.
Bambose is completely gassed, ladies and gentlemen. This is a hard thing to deal with here.
The rest is good, don't worry about it.
You gotta combine your strikes. You got it? You got it? So pay attention and do what I'm telling you to do. Hard jabs on him. He's out of it. Hard jabs.
Now, Bambose is not out of this fight, but he did use pretty much every ounce of energy, and we call that an adrenaline dump. He was so hyped before the fight, so hyped, screaming, yelling, and now he had a dump. I felt that before. It's tough. You felt that before, Stan?
Oh, absolutely.
So when you have an opponent who is visibly gassed, does that change your approach? I mean, you can't force the issue.
You go right to the body. For me, I would love to go kick to the body. And you can hear Bohashinia's corner did a nice job really drilling him. They still want him to be disciplined. Use your jab, stiff jab. They don't want him to get dumb, because even when a guy seems gassed, it's his explosive Bambose, they can still catch you.
Spinning attack from Bambose. Sort of a chopping right hand there.
I love it. Does a double chopping. I mean, this kid doesn't care.
That's the gorilla he was talking about.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to be a gorilla tiger. Well, those are the punches he's throwing right there. It's his own style.
Some strong matchmaking here. You knew when you saw this fight on paper it was going to play out this way, and
Maybe a second win here for Bomboshe early round 2.
Excellent combination of body shot there.
Bohashinia trying to finish Bomboshe here.
These are heavy. This could be it right here.
Oh, is it deafening in here? Paulo Bohashinia has done it! A Brazilian star is born tonight. Bohashinia moves to 10-0 with style points here in Rio. The Holy War Angel disappointed. But tonight belongs to Paulo Bohashinia. Had to weather the proverbial early storm, but he survives to remain undefeated. This fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Excellent job getting the takedown. Then here in top position, he's blocking a lot of these shots, but then you'd see Bohashinia work that right hand, and he started to land clean. Big John gave him every opportunity to recover. Good stoppage.
And here we go. We see Bombose goes to telegraph a left high kick, and Bohashinia is able to time the right low kick and put Bombose on his back and then just start swinging the punches. Bombose was so tired, he couldn't get back up, he couldn't defend, and that was the end of the fight.
So Paulo Bohashinia moves to 2-0 inside the octagon. Coming in, all 9 of his wins had been by first round finish. Has to wait until round 2 tonight, but he still gets the job done. Very interesting middleweight to keep an eye on moving forward. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 6 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by TKO, Paulo Bohashinia.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Paulo Bohashinia. Paulo, you expected to get the early finish. That first round was absolutely crazy. How tired were you at the start of the second?
Estamos aqui com Paulo Bohashinia. Você esperava terminar a luta cedo. Aquele primeiro round foi impressionante. Como é que você estava começando no segundo round?
Vou responder. Antes, só quero dar uma boa noite a todo mundo que está aqui presente hoje. Muito obrigado, Rio de Janeiro. Eu dei o meu máximo aqui e é o mínimo que eu posso fazer para retribuir a presença de todo mundo. Muito obrigado.
Thank you, Rio de Janeiro. I did my best. That was the least I can do to retribute to everyone that came out here.
Holloway is obviously a very different guy to fight. He's got different timing. Was that a struggle to get your range and get your timing in round 1?
Foi duro você encontrar sua distância, o seu time no primeiro round?
O Holloway é cara muito duro, movimenta muito e dificultou bastante para pegar ele. Eu sabia que quando ele parasse, eu conectasse minha mão, meu chute, ele ia sentir muito. E realmente ele dificultou porque ele usou muito bem o octógono e é cara muito duro.
He's a tough guy. He moves around a lot. I knew that it was going to be like that, but I knew that my right hand would land, and he used the octagon very well tonight.
Once you got him down on his back, it seemed like you sensed the finish was there. Were you ready to go all out and stop the fight there?
Parecia que você sentia que a luta acabar. Você estava preparado para dar tudo de si ali?
Estava preparado. Ali eu senti que a luta já estava no finalmente. Ele começou a defender o rosto, veio na posição de desistência. Aí eu já previ que a luta estava perto de acabar.
Yeah, right there I could see that the fight was close to the end. He was covering up and he was protecting his face, so I could see he was close to the end.
You told me this week you're not just ready to be in the UFC, but you're ready to face top 10 talent right now. Anybody that you'd like next?
Você disse que está preparado para enfrentar algum top 10. Tem alguém que você tem em mente?
Bom, eu gostaria muito de lutar contra o top 10 agora. Eu acho que com a minha performance anterior e essa, eu acho que me credencia a pular logo para os top 10. Eu não tenho nenhum nome específico, mas eu gostaria que fosse um top 10.
I think I'm ready for a top 10 fighter after this performance. There's not a specific name that I can mention, but I'm ready for a top 10.
Well, excellent performance. Cannot wait to see you fight again. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Quero agradecer minha cidade de Contagem, tem me apoiado muito. Muito obrigado. Tamo junto.
I have to thank my hometown of Contagem. Thank you very much.
Paulo Borrachinha.
Paulo Borrachinha 10-0 and handling the hype and the pressure like a true veteran here tonight. We will see how they match-make him going forward, but a massive win as Borrachinha gets it done tonight. Tonight's champions in the crowd, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. There is the former UFC Women's Bantamweight champ, Miesha Tate, guest fighter here during pay-per-view week in Rio. And there's the former UFC lightweight champ, Frankie Edgar, the Iron Army. Maybe Edgar a little disappointed after his man Marlon Moraes went down to Rafael Assunção earlier tonight. All right, coming up next, a matchup of middleweight veterans. They have been there and done that. Vitor Belfort made his UFC debut in 1997, won the light heavyweight belt in 2004. Tonight at 40 years old, he will make his 25th walk to the octagon against the also seasoned Nate the Great Marquardt. Marquardt with 38 professional wins to his credit. Few, though, would be bigger than the one he can secure tonight. Next month, July 8th, we return to pay-per-view with one of the blockbuster events of the summer, UFC 213 and the Women's Bantamweight Championship, as budding rivals Amanda Nunes and Valentina Shevchenko get the chance once again to punch each other in the face.
Valentina Shevchenko versus Amanda Nunes is, in my opinion, two fighters who best represent the highest level women's mixed martial arts title fight we have ever seen inside the octagon. Amanda Nunes shocked the world when she battered Ronda Rousey in her return and stopped her in 48 seconds of the first round.
Oh, she tagged her. She hurt her. She's in trouble, Mike. Big combination. That's it. That's it. It's all over. Just like that. Wow.
People, let's stop it. This Ronda Rousey nonsense. Okay? I'm the champion here, Amanda Nunes.
Now the division getting interesting. Now a lot of people going to talk about only Ronda Rousey. I have a lot of talent in this division. I think now it's going to change a lot of things.
2017, this is my year. My goal is title.
Valentina Shevchenko is one of the most technical strikers to ever compete at 135 pounds, who's also shown that she can submit real submission specialists like Juliana Pena from the guard.
As she attempts an armbar here, she's got enough time to finish it. This is tight.
There's the tap. Valentina Shevchenko by submission.
The next fight will be title shot, and I'm very excited for take rematch and take this belt.
They fought last year, and we saw an incredibly close fight. Amanda Nunes winning the early stages of the fight, but we saw Valentina Shevchenko coming on in the later half.
2 months more to speak, and it will be done. She's serious? I will beat you again. She's gonna have one more chance to get her ass kicked. We're gonna do it again, and then we're gonna finish you.
There is legitimate heat between these two women. Amanda Nunes set to make the second defense of her title. It comes against a familiar foe, of course, the highly skilled Valentina Shevchenko. A lot of talent, of course, in this top five at 135 pounds. Nunes, Shevchenko, just over a month away.
The champ has looked absolutely devastating as she continues to improve. The big question in this one, how does she handle if this fight goes into championship rounds? Valentina Shevchenko certainly wants to take this as big and a long fight.
Yeah, look to see Amanda Nunes to try to hold herself back a little bit early. I think she used a lot of energy in the early rounds in their last matchup, and you're going to see a big change with the energy usage, and that's the big difference when these two face each other once again.
So that is our next pay-per-view, UFC 213, July 8th from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, as we get ready for this next feature bout, want to show you the bottom half of the UFC middleweight rankings here at present. Vitor Belfort entrenched there at number 11. Nate Marquardt on the outside looking in for now, Dominic, but Vitor Belfort still very much relevant here past the age of 40.
Vitor Belfort is one of those guys that'll always be relevant whenever he's competing, just because he knows how to do this so well. I mean, he's a tactician. He's been doing it so long that he's seen almost every style you can think of. The only difference is he's got to be able to keep the speed, keep the time, and keep the cardio as his age increases. But he has the skill. He knows what to do. He has the mindset. The body's got to stay together. The cardio's got to be there. And Vitor Belfort is very hard to beat.
So with nearly 50 UFC bouts between them, the veteran staples are just about ready to go here from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Over 20 years ago, Vitor Belfort entered the octagon for the first time to begin what would be a storied run in the UFC. Tonight he walks once again, this time at home, to face Nate the Great Marquardt.
A UFC legend who has been making highlights a habit since he was 19 years old. Vitor Belfort returns to his hometown of Rio de Janeiro tonight to square off with another dangerous veteran in Nate Marquardt.
Nate is a round fighter. He fought one of the best in the sport, and we never fought, so I think it's going to be a very interesting fight.
I love fighting guys like Vitor because they go for the finish, and that's really the point of the fight is to finish the fight. And you know, that's how I've trained all my career.
A former UFC light heavyweight champion who has faced the best in that division and also at heavyweight and middleweight. Belfort made his UFC debut in February of 1997. Now, more than 2 decades later, the 40-year-old will step into the octagon once more as he looks to leave an indelible impression on his legion of fans around the globe.
I want to win. That's it. I came here to compete and to win, and I'm taking one fight at a time, so I'm looking for a great night of competition and a big win.
Respected throughout the MMA world for his class and world-class skill set, Nate Marquardt can still do it all on Fight Night. But in recent years, it's been his punching power that has been most prominent, as 3 of his last 4 wins have been knockouts of Tyron Woodley, C.B. Holloway, and Tamden McCrory.
I'll definitely be going for the finish on Vitor, and I basically just need to stay focused and do my game plan.
So here is the father of 5, the Wyoming native, Nate Marquardt, getting set for his 58th professional fight here tonight, realigning himself with Trevor Whitman for the past several training camps. Some hesitation in that last fight against Sam Alvey. You heard Whitman in the corner saying he needed more from Nate Marquardt. How do you expect him to approach this challenge tonight?
You know, I really expect him to go back to his roots, and talking to him, you know, the blend of Trevor Whitman, now also cross-training at Factory X under Mark Montoya. He believes he's the better grappler in this contest. When you look at Vitor Belfort's past 5 fights, he sees trouble when Vitor's back is put on the floor. Look for Nate Marquardt to set up takedowns tonight instead of dealing with those very fast hands of Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Marquardt go out there mixing the leg kicks early, try to get the range. You know, set up his leg kicks. Don't be throwing empty ones. But more than anything, be aware of Vitor in this first round. This is when he's the most dangerous. Keep your defense tight. Make sure you're smart with the way that you're using the octagon, the way that you're circling. Stay on the weak side. Things of this sort. Facing a southpaw in Vitor Belfort, he's got to be careful, and he's got to be safe, and he's got to keep his defense tight in this first round especially.
We talked so much about what Vitor Belfort has accomplished, and rightfully so, but how about the resume for Nate Marquardt, right? 38 professional wins, 14 submissions, 13 wins by knockout. Knocked out Tyron Woodley back in 2012 to win the Strikeforce middleweight title. This is the first middleweight king of Pancrase, 7-time king of Pancrase, and as you saw in the feature there, the power is very much still there, and maybe there's even been an uptick in the power over his last several wins. We'll see if Marquardt can find a home for those hands here tonight as a slight underdog against the future Hall of Famer Vitor Belfort. So here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Rio de Janeiro, Brazil native, Vitor the Phenom Belfort. He turned 40 back on the 1st of April. fought just a few short months ago in Fortaleza against Kelvin Gastelum. After the fight, you heard that buzzword retirement, but Vitor this week has really distanced himself from that narrative.
We just showed the middleweight rankings from number 6 to number 15. Vitor's last 3 opponents weren't in those rankings because they're all in the top 5. At 40 years old, he's only fighting the best the division has to offer. He's got a beautiful home and a beautiful family in Florida. Instead, though, flies up to Montreal and lived in a tiny little room and sacrificed a ton. Wanted to get back to basics. Wanted to be somewhere where he'd sacrifice a lot and be hungrier. And man, when I talked to him this week, he seemed very enthusiastic, very eager to get in here and uncork those fast hands and be aggressive against Nate Marquardt.
I think Firas Zahabi is a great match for Vitor Belfort in his training. I mean, he's very stickler. Show up on time. If you're not going to show up on time, I'm not going to train you. He doesn't let guys run their own camp. You have to train a guy like Vitor Belfort like that. He's been on top for so long. How do you tell a guy like Vitor how to do something? Well, Firas Zahabi has the skill set, has the understanding to do so. He's good with the jab. He understands how to slow you down. I think it's a good fit, and I think you will expect to see some good boxing out of Vitor if Firas is able to tighten him down. I think it's a good fit, and I like this matchup.
And how about the pop from this crowd for Vitor Belfort tonight? This is a man who is littered across the UFC record books, tied with Anderson Silva for the most UFC finishes. 13 of his 14 UFC wins. All finishes, by the way, have come in round 1. His 12 knockdowns in the UFC, #1 all time. So we'll see which fighter can turn back the clock tonight. Vitor Belfort, 40 years old as of April 1st. Nate the Great Marquardt is 38. Both fighters 6 feet tall. 185 pounds on the nose for Vitor, 186 for Marquardt. Both fighters with a reach of 74 inches. All right, now for the official introductions, we turn it over to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 38 wins, 17 losses, 2 draws. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Denver, Colorado, USA, presenting the former Strikeforce welterweight champion, Nate the Great Marquardt. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 25 wins, 13 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Vitor the Phenom Belfort. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Osiris Maya.
Osiris Maya draws the assignment here. Vitor Belfort, the -165 favorite here tonight. Comeback on Nate Marquardt at +135.
Preparado, Vitor. You are okay? Let's go to the fight.
Belfort, the southpaw in the black trunks. Nate Marquardt, the orthodox fighter, is in blue. Here we go.
It's one thing to say you want to take down Vitor Belfort. It's another thing when you're standing across from him and you've got to close that distance. Marquardt has got to be very smart in the early going on how he sets up his takedowns, and perhaps he'll wait and clinch with Vitor a little bit more, slow it down, and look for the takedown later in the round.
Watch that left kick to Vitor. He loves to rip the body early and the inside kick early to set up the left high kick later in the match. So look for that left kick to the body and the inside kick from Vitor to Marquardt.
Belfort has not been to a decision since 2007. Perhaps we'll see a more patient approach here tonight since he has aligned himself with Firas Zahabi.
Oh, the judges, I just saw them get up and go to the restroom. They're not even watching this
they're out
fight.
of here, yeah.
Quick right hand from Marquardt to get in the clinch. Smart move. He wants to try and... Oh, beautiful trip by Nate Marquardt.
That is a tough takedown, and he was able to get that. And he said he was going to force it, and he made it happen. Very nice by Marquardt.
And just over a minute in, Marquardt gets that takedown. Let's see what he can do with it here, operating inside the closed guard of Vitor Belfort. Couple shoulder strikes there for good measure.
Marquardt's so seasoned on the ground. He's pancration champion several times. I mean, he's so good on the ground. Vitor is too. And this is where Vitor's actually good. He goes for the overhooks, he gets you tricked, and then all of a sudden he explodes to an armbar, explodes to a triangle. But it's going to be hard flat on his back with Marquardt knowing what's going on.
Marquardt's just an excellent all-around mixed martial artist. He's obviously older now at 38, but you talk to the fighters he trains with, and they all rave about how much they learned from Marquardt. He just showed some beautiful technique on that takedown.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, trains at 10th Planet and also Easton with Elliot Marshall there in Boulder, Colorado. Well, Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series premieres Tuesday, July 11th on UFC Fight Pass as Osiris Maia interrupts the action here. Back to the feet, less than 3 minutes to go. July 11th for Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. You can see it all summer long, Tuesday nights on UFC Fight Pass.
That's tough. That's a quick stand up there. If you're in the corner of Nate Marquardt, he's got to take into account that this referee is going to stand him up quick. He's got to get busier than that. He can't allow Vitor to get those overhooks and slow down the pace. Oof. He's thinking about it, Dom. He's thinking about that left kick. And we always talk about his fast hands, but man, in the later part of his career, it has been those kicks that have been absolutely devastating for Vitor Belfort.
Later in his career, he's done a good job conserving energy, understanding where he needs to do with it as he's gotten tired in some past fights. But you see, he'll sit, he'll lull you, Vitor, make you think he's not going to do anything. And then out of nowhere, he explodes with that high kick, that body kick, that inside kick, and then follows it up. Marquardt needs to be aware, keep his defense tight, and be ready.
Looked like a slip from Marquardt. Now Vitor attacks the body. Less than 2 minutes here to go round one. We'll see if Marquardt chooses to shoot here again.
Vitor finally uncorked that left hand. I don't care what age he is, it's still fast and it's still powerful.
The tools are still there for both these gentlemen. The pace has just gone down a little bit, but the tools are there and they know what they're doing. That's what's going to make this a lot of reads in this matchup.
And the ability to withstand the punishment. You know, both of these guys can win by knockout with one good shot against each other. They've just been in there with some of the best for years, and that does take its toll. But a signature of Firas Zahabi trained fighters is they are very disciplined, they're very patient, and they are accurate with their strikes. We're seeing that from Vitor now.
Vitor's looking to set up a huge explosion with the left hand, right hook, and the left high kick. I mean, those are his moves, and that's what he does. He waits, and then he explodes on you. And that's why Marquardt needs to throw more feints. He needs to keep Vitor thinking and guessing more, because if you let Vitor have the space, have the energy, be comfortable, that's when you start having problems with him.
And Marquardt cannot allow Vitor to walk him back to that fence. Beautiful right hand there from Marquardt as he stepped back and launched forward. Caught Vitor by surprise.
.30 seconds now to go here in round one of a possible three. Inside leg kick for Nate Marquardt.
And this has been an issue at times for Vitor, where he's been too patient in fights. When you look at his fight against Gegard Mousasi, he really waited a lot in that fight and allowed Mousasi to dictate everything behind his jab.
Now, Marquardt's finally feinting. You see how he's faking? That's what he's got to be doing now. He pulled out the strike of Vitor. As long as he does that, keeps Vitor guessing, he might be able to wear him out a little bit more. But waiting like he is not going to favor Marquardt.
Breathe. That was beautiful. Great job. Good job. The cardio's fantastic, okay? He's slowing down. You haven't slowed down at all. Beautiful. If he clinches you, Vitor, bump, bump, bump. Okay, bump. Don't just bump one time. Bump, bump. You break the grips. Fantastic. Give me another round like this, okay? Counter him. You're faster than him. It's beautiful. When you have him up against the fence, it's time for a combination. A little bit of water. A little bit. Okay, over here. Fantastic round, Vitor. Keep the pressure. He's slowing down. The cardio, yeah, 100% recover. Counters, Vitor. Beautiful. Pop. Beautiful head movement. You're faster than him. Keep countering him. Pressure him. Beautiful. Let's do it again.
Two titans of the heavyweight division lock up next Saturday in Auckland. The Black Beast Derek Lewis looks for a 7th straight win against New Zealand's own king of the walk-off KO, Mark Hunt. Don't miss FS1 UFC Fight Night, Lewis v. Hunt. Next Saturday, main card starts at 10 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Bri, your thoughts on Firas Zahabi's message there, maximizing those 60 seconds between rounds?
I thought he did a really good job. The first thing he did was work on Vitor's confidence and tell him, hey, you look great, you're in great condition, which is something that Vitor needs. Then he put in the technical advice. Hey, when you back up against the fence, you've got to let go of the combinations, and you're faster than him. Let loose the counter strikes. I agree. Vitor's a little too patient in round one. I think Nate Marquardt, when you couple the strikes he landed and the takedown, probably won that first round.
Dom, did you see a speed discrepancy and advantage for Belfort there in round one?
I do see a speed discrepancy in Vitor's favor, but he also needs to throw more. Like Brian's saying, he's kind of conserving a lot because he's worried about getting tired. That's why Firas is telling him, you're in great shape, your cardio's fine. He has to hear that. He has to know he's not going to get tired because that's how he's lost in the past. But Vitor is conserving and doing a good job using his best weapons at the right time. Marquardt really needs to throw more and keep busy so Vitor doesn't get any momentum. And there it is. That's what he needs to do in Marquardt. Keep busy.
Marquardt finding the range here early round two.
Yeah, really nice job sneaking in that right hand after his shoulder bump to get out of the clinch. Trevor Whitman does such a nice job at teaching fighters how to use their feet to land punches. He's very technical.
That was Vitor's most significant strike of the fight there. Marquardt shakes it off.
And Vitor's going to jump on him.
Belfort lands the uppercut there. Now a knee for Vitor. Back and forth we go here as Marquardt counters. Short hook is there for Belfort.
This is not what Marquardt wants. Don't get into a firefight with Vitor, although he ate those punches and he's staying in it.
It's so nice. Vitor slipping the right hand and Marquardt ripping a left uppercut and then going back to his left kick. Those are his precise weapons and he's countering perfectly.
When Vitor's confident, that's when he's most dangerous. And sometimes it has to build in a fight for him. That exchange there, now you see him getting more offensive. His confidence is high.
He's waiting for the right hand of Marquardt. He's timed it now, and now he's looking for that left uppercut right behind the right hand of Marquardt. And then he follows up from there. He's just waiting for the counter.
Marquardt lands the jab under 3 minutes here to go in round two. Brazilian fans urging their native son Vitor Belfort on here.
And the footwork is slowed for Marquardt, but he's sticking with the feints, and he has to. He cannot allow Vitor Belfort to get the timing and get his rhythm.
There's just not enough pressure on Vitor right now. Vitor can fight this type of fight forever. He's comfortable right now. You can't let Vitor be comfortable. When he's not throwing, when Vitor's not throwing, Marquardt needs to be faking. And that was a good hook he landed. That hurt Vitor a little.
Immediately opened up a cut there to the left of the left eye of Vitor Belfort. Good location if you're Vitor.
Look at the right hand of Marquardt low. Getting lower and lower as the rounds go on. Got to keep that right up if you're Marquardt. Vitor's looking for it all the fight. You walk him right into it. That's why you'll see Vitor circle. He'll walk away to try to pull you a certain way and then fire an explosive kick.
Marquardt had no issue flying under the radar this week as everybody talked about Vitor Belfort and where he would go from here. Less than 90 seconds now to go in round two.
Marquardt clipped Vitor hard with that hook and it really cut him pretty good. And those tricky kicks are working for Marquardt. I like to see him keep using those. They keep Vitor worried and back.
And yeah, it's exactly what he's doing. He's just trying to keep his range and keep this a long fight. He doesn't want to be in the pocket with Vitor Belfort boxing. And if Vitor comes to crash the distance, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nate Marquardt level change and try and get another takedown.
I like how Marquardt threw a right hook because he saw that Vitor's slipping it when he throws it straight down the middle. That body kick is nasty.
Yeah.
Follows it up. Smart going to the body of Vitor.
Looked like Vitor's able to land a counter there, but Marquardt has taken control after that previous flurry from Vitor.
When Marquardt does commit to the right hand, he knows he's in Vitor's range. He immediately looks to clinch and push away. He's been very smart. You can see he drilled that a lot in this camp because he doesn't want to be in the pocket. Throw the right hand, commit to it, then clinch.
Marquardt with a pretty good combination. Belfort squirms out of harm's way. Waning seconds here of round two.
And outside of that big flurry from Vitor early, he's really allowed Marquardt to work his way back into this round and potentially steal it.
And really all Marquardt has to do is stay busy with the feints and stay busy with the punches, punch count, kick count, and he can get ahead with Vitor because Vitor's just countering.
Bring the bucket. You guys are allowed in, okay? You're allowed in. Give me the bucket. Give me the bucket. Come inside. You're allowed. You're allowed in. No. Oh, he's not allowed in? Okay. No, he's not allowed right now. Okay. Okay, no problem. No problem. Sandro, stay there. Relax. Some water. One more round, Vitor. Vitor, look at me. Treat it like it's 1-1, okay? Treat it like it's 1-1. When you have him on the fence, small shots. You're winding up too much on your shots, okay? Keep your shots shorter. Don't wind up too much. Short shots, okay? Now it's time to pressure him. Listen, he hit you with his best shot. He couldn't hurt you. Go walk him down now, okay? Walk him down. It's round 3, Vitor. Look at me. Walk him down. Short shots. Don't wind up.
You see them working on that cut. Here's where it happened. Nice fake with the right-hand jab. And catches him with that right hook. And then Marquardt using his long high kicks to keep Vitor Belfort, to keep this a long fight. And there's the beautiful uppercut that he waited for, timed it perfectly behind the right hand of Marquardt. And then Vitor went hunting after this and landed a lot of nice shots.
Good job by Marquardt there. I mean, normally Vitor gets you out of there in that exact scenario, but Marquardt hung in there, stayed tough. Shows the veteran he is.
The unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyrighted work is illegal and punishable under law. So let's see how both sides approach this third and final round. We haven't seen a takedown attempt from Nate Marquardt until the one that he was successful in landing a minute in, but perhaps some pause given the quick stand-up from the referee.
Perhaps. He eats another left hand like that, I think we'll see him shoot for more takedowns. But this is what Vitor can't allow. He can't allow Nate to just sit there and play this long game and get into his rhythm. Vitor's got to press the action a little bit more, because waiting for the counter just hasn't been enough right now.
4 unanswered strikes from Marquardt to Vitor, and that's where Marquardt can get ahead. Just keep staying busy, keep the feints, keep throwing, keep the numbers high, keep the punch count high, and Vitor will fall behind and look for the big counter and then start getting anxious. That's how Marquardt's got to do it. Now Vitor needs to keep looking for those kicks and listen to his coach and get to pressuring and be first.
1 minute gone by here in round 3. Nate Marquardt has been the more offensive fighter.
It is imperative Marquardt continue to do those feints. The people at home, you may not understand what those do, but when you can feint like that and freeze your opponent, you ruin the timing of Vitor's quick and big left hand.
Well, we'll see if there's an uptick in the urgency here for Vitor Belfort. He would seem to have some work to do.
Well, Marquardt's got to be careful. He always keeps his hands low, and that right hand is down by his chest.
Vitor is looking for the perfect counter shot right now, and that's why you're seeing him wait. He's just waiting for the perfect knockout. That's it. He needs to get busy and just be okay with landing light, like Frost had told him. Just throw it out there. Be quick if you're Vitor.
So far, this has been a really, really smart fight and smart tactical approach by Nate Marquardt.
I think the last minute, Vitor's really going to wait and turn up for that and just try to explode at the end of the fight. Try to conserve himself until then. Ooh, he's always looking to slip that right. That's the #1 thing he's looking for besides the left high kick. Just trying to pull out that right hand. Nice. Marquardt keeps landing that. I'd like to see him follow up after that. Maybe some punches or something.
And now's the time he could bait Vitor in with 2 minutes left. He could bait Vitor to walk forward a little bit and shoot a takedown. He can get Vitor on his back and just try to ride this round out.
Definitely going to see a takedown attempt soon. I guarantee that. I really have a feel.
Ooh, nice left hook there from Marquardt.
2 minutes now to go to decide this one.
Now you'll start seeing these gentlemen turn up in this third round right here. They've been waiting for this last 2 minutes, both of them.
And you know, when Vitor walks him back to the fence, he's got to uncork. That's where he's got to let go of his combinations, exactly as coach told him.
He landed the right hand there, but Vitor one and done. Perhaps he will go the distance for the first time in 10 years tonight.
Crazy. We jinxed him after all the talk about not going to a decision since 2007.
That judges better hustle back here. Vitor lands now.
Not over yet.
See, Vitor's only looking for the big kill shot. He needs to put combinations together. Be okay with that. That'll give him the finish he's looking for. Here it comes. He just landed big.
Couple good right hands this round for Vitor. Shot from Marquardt. Good sprawl by Belfort.
Beautiful.
Takedown attempt.
Belfort's got to jump on him here.
Yep, he's hurting. He's got Marquardt hurt and desperate. He needs to kill him right here and get it done. Get the kill. Because it could go either way right now.
Oh! Just misses with the right hook. But Vitor definitely turning on here. Trying to steal this round and finish this fight.
Partially landed that head kick.
And that right hand is so low, if he would set up the head kick with the hands, he may be able to land it instead of just throwing the singular high kick. You hear the corner, Trevor Whitman telling Marquardt, get out of there. They don't want anything to do with the pocket.
20 seconds now to go. Marquardt wearing it at this point. Final 10 seconds. Marquardt presses forward. So Vitor Belfort and Nate Marquardt go the distance tonight here in Rio de Janeiro. Marquardt believes he has done enough. As we await the official decision, this fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Really back and forth fight. Here's early in round one where Nate Marquardt gets the inside trip from a tie clinch and one underhook. Very nicely done. He used high kicks and really a long approach. After he'd throw the right hand, he would try to clinch immediately, but Vitor Belfort would time some uppercuts in this fight and start to come back. And then late in round three, Vitor Belfort started to let the hands and the feet go. Really the best moment of the fight for him was that end of that third round.
Big embrace from two consummate veterans tonight. 49 UFC appearances now between them. And we'll see if Vitor Belfort has done enough to light up this arena here tonight. The official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here now with the official decision is Bruce Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Vitor the Phenom Belfort.
I'm here with your winner and legend, Vitor Belfort. Vitor, all the sacrifices you made for this camp, leaving your beautiful family, living in a small room in Montreal, how worth it was it for you for this moment?
Estamos aqui com o vencedor e a lenda, Vitor Belfort. Todos os sacrifícios que você fez para esse camp, você deixou sua família, foi para Montreal, valeu a pena?
Sem sacrifício não há glória. Galera, obrigado pelo carinho. Quero mandar um beijo para minha esposa, Joana, Davi, Vitória, Chiara, toda a minha família, muito obrigado. Meus treinadores, a TroyStar, toda a equipe que está lá no Canadá. A todos vocês que investiram, os professores que investiram na minha vida, na minha carreira. Eu sou muito grato a todos aqueles que plantaram uma semente na minha vida.
Without sacrifice, there's no glory. I want to send out a big kiss to my wife, to my family, to all my trainers, everyone in Canada, and everyone who's helped me throughout this whole career, and everyone who planted this seed inside of me.
You've always been a fighter who takes risks and looks for the finish, but tonight you seem strategic and patient. Was that the game plan coming in, to explode at the right moments?
Você sempre se arriscou, você sempre terminou a luta. A da sua estratégia hoje, você ser mais paciente, mais estratégico nessa luta?
Bom, eu estava muito excited, estava muito excitado. Então a gente começou muito firrado, falou para ter paciência, esperar os momentos chegarem. Eu conectei muitos bons golpes, mas eu peço desculpa por não poder ter nocauteado essa noite. Mas acho que era a volta, eram 3 lutas que eu venho passando dificuldade, então eu queria lutar os 3 rounds. Eu consegui, mas eu acho que minha performance não foi do que eu esperava. Eu esperava o nocaute essa noite.
I was very excited, and Firas told me to calm down a little bit. I wanted to get a knockout. I'm sorry, guys, I couldn't get a knockout. It's really what I wanted tonight. I wanted to fight the 3 rounds, but I wasn't satisfied with my performance. I wanted that knockout.
You fought all the best in the world. You've got nothing left to prove. You've hinted a little bit at retirement, but I know it's tough to make the decision here. Do you think this is the last we see you?
Você já lutou contra os melhores do mundo, você já falou um pouco sobre a aposentadoria. O que você acha? Qual vai ser o próximo passo?
Eu acabei de falar pro Firas que eu vou dar mais 5 lutas para ele. Então, I got 5 more fights to go, guys. You gotta have to swallow Vitor Belfort. I'm gonna invent myself, come back different every time.
Vocês vão ter que engolir o Vitor Belfort. Vou voltar e vou me reinventar cada vez.
Not gonna be a whole lot of complaints for that. The legend, Vitor Belfort.
So the show must go on. Dominic Vitor Belfort tonight gets his first UFC win by decision. How about it?
The old lion's still licking his chops, man. I mean, this guy's been doing it so long, winning for so long. He says, I'm going to reinvent myself. You got to respect it. I mean, somebody's been doing it at 20 years, 40 years old. All I can do is look up to somebody with his career and the way that he's durable and the way that he competes and everything about it.
And still learning, too. I mean, we saw an evolution in his 30s. He brought all these new kicks and different things, and tonight more strategic.
And there's the recent strawweight title challenger, Jessica Andrade. Certainly will be an interested observer tonight for our co-main event between Claudia Gadelha and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Well, speaking of interesting, how about July 29? How about Anaheim, California? Daniel Cormier, John Jones, Act 2.
Daniel Cormier remains the UFC light heavyweight champion.
I have a message for one man. John Jones, I'm waiting for you.
I don't like Daniel Cormier. I don't respect Daniel Cormier. Can't wait till I can whoop him again.
This is a kid that's long needed to be put in his place. I am the person to do it.
He has the belt. He's not the champion. And I'm about to whip your punk ass. Let's go, man. I'm going to go get what's mine.
Well, you better get them now. Tickets for UFC 214 go on sale Friday, June 9th. The long-awaited rematch between the UFC light heavyweight champ, Daniel Cormier, and arguably the greatest of all time, John Jones. UFC 214, Saturday, July 29th from the Honda Center in Anaheim. Claim your seat this Friday.
Only 2.
Well, the 2017 UFC Hall of Fame ceremony is fast approaching. Tonight, we are happy to announce our next inductee. A man who embraced the spectacle of the sport while also maintaining the art of MMA. Next month, the UFC Hall of Fame opens its doors to this deserving legend.
What a fight! Man!
Every few years, a special fighter emerges. Their talent and character become synonymous with the era they fought in.
It's gotta be a great joke, it's over.
In the octagon, warriors like Royce Gracie, Matt Hughes, Chuck Liddell, Anderson Silva, and today Conor McGregor have helped shape what it means to be a mixed martial artist. But in the iconic Pride Fighting Championships, one man alone personified the Japanese organization's unique mix of sport and spectacle. A natural welterweight, the Japanese icon never backed down from facing the towering titans of the sport. He was the man who forged his own legend by bursting the bubble on the mythology surrounding the first family of combat sport.
He was the definition of Bushido, the way of the warrior.
The Gracie Hunter, the IQ wrestler.
He's the Babe Ruth of Japanese MMA. He's a legend.
Kazushi Sakuraba is a real all-time great mixed martial arts fighter. He had some of the most exciting fights ever in Pride, and in the UFC was the first fighter to ever submit a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Sakuraba was just magic. He walks into that arena, it's like Elvis. He proved to the world, could the Gracies be beat? he was the man that did it.
Sakuraba has gone through just about every Brazilian that he's faced. And it was just a matter of time before he faced one of the famed Gracie family members.
When we look back at Sakuraba, he was the Gracie Hunter, although that was really not a fair nickname. They were hunting him.
Hoyler lost the fight for sure.
Sakuraba's most memorable fight was with Royce Gracie. Nobody had ever fought 90 minutes.
How do you do a 90-minute fight? That's just ridiculous. It's not an embellished story. It actually happened.
To be able to last 90 minutes and win the fight, that just is one of the most remarkable achievements in MMA history.
He's taking all these rules and using them to his advantage.
The love of a father, in the end, that's what finished the fight, when he finally said, yes, you can throw in the towel.
The Gracies could not stand the fact that he was beating them. Now we're going to send Renzo in there to take you out.
This is the fight of the century.
Sakuraba, during his heyday, was my favorite fighter and still one of my favorite fighters of all time. He could do things that nobody else would even dream of attempting.
Sakuraba has proved that he's the best fighter in the world.
Many people make excuses when they lose. He was better than me tonight. He's the Japanese version of the Gracie family.
Sakuraba beat a who's who of UFC champions. Outside of the shenanigans, this guy was a legitimate fighter for a long time.
For a guy his size to take on anybody and everybody.
Sakuraba ranks among the top fighters of all time because of the caliber of the people he defeated, the style he beat them in, and for how long he was able to last.
Part showman, part modern-day samurai, the former pro wrestler came to epitomize the fighting pride of an entire nation. And a list of accomplishments longer than his 2000 Pride Grand Prix fight. Kazushi Sakuraba now adds one more title to his enduring legacy. UFC Hall of Famer.
About it, folks. Congratulations to Sakuraba. He enters the Pioneer Era wing of the UFC Hall of Fame. First Japanese champion in UFC history. Won the UFC Ultimate Japan Heavyweight Tournament in 1997. All told, 27 Pride fights to his credit. Sakuraba headed to the Hall of Fame next month, and deservedly so. What a moment for the Japanese legend.
It's hard to say this about anybody, but I'm very confident we will never see another one like him in this sport. Sakuraba embodied all of the best character traits in this sport and the entertainer traits. Every time he showed up, you got your money's worth. He put on a show. He invented techniques nobody even heard of. You would watch tape of this guy, wonder what he was doing, look at your coach and say, what is that? And he would fight anybody. Unbelievable. He is so deserving of this.
Don Fry just called him the man. I mean, Don Fry just said that he was like magic. If Don Fry gives that credit, you know this man is awesome. Not to mention, anybody who tapes their ears like that, I'm going to watch out for. I mean, this guy was lethal. He had every submission in the book. He mixed it up. He was a showman when nobody else was doing showmanship. And he beat the best of all time during his era. I mean, definitely he deserves a Hall of Fame and more. I grew up watching him. We all did. And he helped set the stage just as much as Bruce Lee might have, in my opinion, back in his day.
Look, I mean, the character, the heart, the courage. I mean, you got people that turn down fights plenty in this state of martial arts. This guy didn't turn down anybody. I mean, he fought people not just out of his weight class, but I mean, ridiculous fights. Guys that were way bigger and went right at them. This man was incredible. If you have not seen him fight, go watch them now. If you do this sport or you love this sport, you need to know who Sakuraba is.
And I'm sure Tony Ferguson is sitting home thinking, I could go 90 minutes, but 90 minutes, absolutely incredible. And you cannot effectively chronicle the history of mixed martial arts without repeatedly coming across the name Sakuraba. This is exactly where this man belongs.
He literally set the bar for us all. To fight 90 minutes, nobody knew it could be done. I still would say it's impossible. He figured it out. He set the bar. Still, no more 90-minute fights since that day.
All right, so the legend Sakuraba completes the 2017 UFC Hall of Fame class. He will be inducted in Las Vegas Thursday, July 6th, along with Uriah Faber, Maurice Smith, and Joe Silva. We hope to see many of you out there next month for International Fight Week. Tonight, though, we tip the hat and congratulate Kazushi Sakuraba. So the top 2 ranked strawweight contenders in the world square off tonight with a win. Perhaps Claudia Gadelha or Karolina Kowalkiewicz will earn another crack at the champion.
My goal since I started doing this is to be the best. I want to be the best, and I want to be the UFC champion.
I want to be the best on the world. I love fighting, I love this sport, and this is the way of my life.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Claudia Gadelha is a fight between 2 of the most talented strawweight contenders. 2 women have only lost close fights to 1 woman, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Claudia Gadelha is an outstanding fighter. She has a very, very well-rounded game, an excellent ground game. She's very physically strong. Her kickboxing is outstanding as well. Very good Muay Thai technique, and now wants to get a victory against arguably the top contender other than her, which is Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
I am the best strawweight in the world, and I'm gonna prove that.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz has an incredible record. She's beat Rose Namajunas, and she has shown massive potential both inside the octagon and in other organizations. This is a fight between number 1 and number 2 when you're talking about the top contenders in the division.
I always said that I want to fight with the best. It was one of my small dreams to fight with Claudia.
Karolina said she wanted to test herself against me. I am a very bad fight for Karolina. She never fought nobody that will give her the pressure that I will give her. I want to knock her out.
Maybe I knock her down, maybe I choke her. I beat her anyway. I have one ultimate goal. I want to be a champion.
So here she is, the affable former world title challenger, Poland's Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Brian, she has changed her life by virtue of this UFC success. New apartment in her native Poland. Tonight, though, another big challenge as a big underdog against Claudia Gadelha.
You know, she really seems to relish that. She talked about how people didn't say she should be the number 2 person in this division. She's really gained confidence from proving people wrong. When I asked her about her fight against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, quickly she tells you, I don't want to talk about it. She was that disappointed with her performance. It has driven her. She brought in a lot of women to specifically mimic Claudia and prepare for her takedowns. Said she'd keep this fight standing and at her strong point striking.
Tonight's Prep Point is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network.
One of the things that Karolina was telling me was about her very first fight. She said, I got into this a little rough. It was a little bit of a rough patch. She said when she had her first fight, the shorts that she had, the top that she had didn't fit. So she went and found somebody and paid the girl $5 because she fought before her to use her outfit to get through her first fight because nothing fit right. That's how she started. She said after that, it didn't matter. She realized she just wanted to do this for a long time. And that's how this thing starts for most of us.
So her takedown defense, you see there, Brian, 87%. That figures to be tested here tonight, but she considers that to be a weapon.
Oh, absolutely. And she's shown to have excellent takedown defense. However, right, she looked very good defending the takedowns of Heather Jo Clark. She's looked very good defending the takedowns of Randa Markos. This is a different level. She's got to bring all that technique and her athleticism she's shown those previous fights. It has got to step up a level here because Claudia Gadelha sets up her takedowns well, and she's very versatile in the way she will attack you to get you to the ground. Not to mention, Claudia Gadelha could strike too.
And don't mistake her kindness for weakness.
No.
I heard a former Marine captain say that once. She is kind, but she can be mean and nasty in there. She is super tough, durable, okay with being hit, outstanding in the clinch. Very excited to see what she can do here tonight. She knows that people aren't giving her a great chance here, at least in terms of the odds makers. Karolina Kowalkiewicz looking to come up big on the road here tonight. So here's another fighter who turned pro when women were not in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. The #1 ranked strawweight contender, Claudia Gadelha, 14-2, only professional losses, Dom, to the Polish champion, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, as confident as ever as she hits the inspection zone here tonight.
And I think the thing that people forget about Gadelha is she's got a high fight IQ. She understands that the sport's evolving, that she has to make changes if she's going to evolve with the sport. She moves, she sacrificed, she's done things in order to compete and become better, she told me. And more than anything, she understands that she can't just look for double legs. She has to mix things a little bit better. She has to outstrike Karolina, get her to respect the striking to set up her takedowns. If she does not, Karolina does have the skill set to stuff her takedowns, as we saw the champion, Jędrzejczyk, did.
You saw her fight a lot more paced, a lot more strategically in her last fight against Courtney Casey. She does a great job of hammering you with a 1-2 combination, and all she's doing is trying to get you to return fire because she's baiting you into an easy double leg takedown. But she's versatile. She can take you down in the clinch, but she's done a really nice job working on her inside game, getting inside and boxing and striking with you. So she thinks that she could win anyway. She told me, I'm not that impressed with Karolina. Just being honest with you, I believe technically I'm above her, but I know she's tough and she's gonna bring it.
And direct quote from Claudia Gadelha on Kowalkiewicz, she fights with her hands down, her feet are all over the place, right? So Chris Luttrell, they've broken down the film. They believe they have a lot of advantages here tonight. You mentioned some of the strides she has made when it comes to her striking. She can also lean on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and she might just be the best takedown artist in this division's history. All right, just about ready to go with this strawweight co-main event. Here's your tail of the tape. Claudia Gadelha, 28 years old. Karolina Kowalkiewicz is 31. Gadelha 1 inch taller. She weighed in 116 pounds. 115 for Kowalkiewicz, who will have the slightest of reach advantages, half an inch. All right, now for the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 10 wins, 1 loss. She stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 115 pounds. Fighting out of Łódź, Poland, presenting the #2 ranked strawweight contender in the world, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 14 wins, 2 losses. She stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 116 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the #1 ranked strawweight contender in the world, Claudia Gadelha. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee. You gotta love the composure and just the deadpan calmness of Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Just chilling in the blue corner. And Claudia Gadelha has become a massive superstar here in her native Brazil. She calls the United States home now, but we have really seen her celebrity get to that next level. We'll see how it goes tonight. Gadelha in the black trunks. She is the -310 favorite. Kowalkiewicz is in white, the +240 underdog.
Excellent right hand already. You can see Kowalkiewicz looking to press the action and push the pace. She's always at her best when she can make it a little bit of a blue-collar fight, force it in the pocket. Even though she has a reach advantage, she likes to fight inside and close.
I think the best attribute of Karolina is that she never shies to 1 punch at a time. She very often throws combinations, body head, starts low, ends high, and she mixes her kicks in well. Gadelha, a little bit more the one-shot power type of fighter. Also, big explosions to the takedown.
9 combined UFC fights for these women coming in. They have all gone the distance. So for Gadelha, finish would certainly be useful. You could say that about Kowalkiewicz as well. 1 minute gone by here, round 1.
I like what Kowalkiewicz is doing with her feet. She's constantly switching stances, constantly bouncing, making herself a difficult target to time and land a takedown.
Oh, man. Beautiful elbow. Part of a combination that landed for Gadelha.
It's exactly what we saw from Gadelha against Courtney Casey. I mean, she was a monster entering and exiting the clinch with elbows and strikes. I mean, she was just downright mean.
A lot of pressure on Claudia Gadelha here tonight.
The stance switch at Carolina is making it hard for Claudia to be able to time the takedown. She usually waits on the right hand, and because Carolina's switching stance, it's hard to make the read. Plus, she fakes a lot. Plus, she throws a lot of combinations. So it's hard for Gadelha. It's going to be hard for her to time these takedowns with this kind of movement that Carolina uses.
Well, and Carolina just landed two very nice right hands. She's doing a nice job getting in and getting out and avoiding the clinch. Oh, double underhooks here there from Gadelha, and here's where she's able to really wrench people to the ground.
This is her #1 move right there. She gets that double underhook and she twists you off the octagon like this every single fight. And then she holds you down, burns the clock, beats you up from the top. So Carolina needs to get up as soon as possible, or else this clock's gonna go away quick.
She's gonna give up her back.
That is Gadelha's 27th takedown landed in 6 UFC fights, most in the division's history.
And not a good position for Carolina with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Carolina's got to start to flatten. She's got to fight the hands first, then flatten these hips out. She does not want to allow Claudia Gadelha to get the second hook in. She's under.
That's in. It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
There's the tap. How about it? Claudia Gadelha with her first UFC finish. And where better to do it but here in Rio tonight. And what a moment between coach and fighter Chris Luttrell and Claudia Gadelha. Gadelha becomes the first woman in pro MMA to finish Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Boy, gorgeous work. And when you're talking about the elite fighters in these weight divisions, you can't afford to make that kind of mistake. Karolina's such a better fighter than that, but look at that, humble. She'll learn a lot from that experience, but you cannot give your back up like that trying to get back to your feet against someone with the skills of Claudia Gadelha.
This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Excellent takedown here. You see she's keeping good pressure with her left shoulder, almost wanting Carolina to belly down and get up like this, and she just allowed this to happen too easy, as Gadelha would get one hook in, eventually two. Very, very dangerous thing to do, to give up your back. And look how quick Claudia Gadelha is able to get that right forearm under the chin. Beautiful work, made it look easy here tonight. And if you want a case at fighting the champion who you've lost to twice, these are the types of finishes you need to get.
So it'll go into the books as the 7th career win by submission for Claudia Gadelha, her 2nd by way of the rear naked choke. And that puts her right back in the mix for a potential title shot at 115 pounds. The official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast, nationwide 4G LTE network. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mario Yamasaki has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 3 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke, Claudia Gadelha.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Claudia Gadelha. Claudia, you came in and felt like technically you were the superior fighter, but tonight you systematically took out Karolina Kowalkiewicz with ease.
Estamos aqui com a vencedora Claudinha Gadelha. Você disse que você era melhor tecnicamente, mas você sistematicamente venceu ela aqui hoje à noite, né?
Ei, Rio de Janeiro! Obrigado, eu amo vocês. Mossoró, pai e mãe, amo vocês. English or Portuguese?
Rio de Janeiro, muito obrigado. Thank you very much, Rio. I'm here in Mossoró, my hometown. Big kiss to everyone over there, too.
You changed an awful lot in the last few years in your career. How much has that switch helped you put on performances as dominant as you did tonight?
Você mudou muito na sua carreira. Como é que essa mudança te ajudou a fazer uma performance como a de hoje à noite?
Hey, I think I have been saying this whole week.
You know, you can't expect different results if you keep doing the same thing over and over. And then I challenged myself. I went out there, you know, by myself, and I've been doing different things, new things, and I am a new fighter. You know, this is the new Claudia right here, and it's gonna be fucking hard to beat me, man.
Eu tenho dito que você não pode esperar resultados diferentes fazendo a mesma coisa. Então me desafiei. Eu fui lá fora e essa é a nova Cláudia. Vai ser muito difícil me vencer agora.
Now, obviously, you faced Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the champion, twice. Outside of her, is there anybody you think you should get next that could get you that third shot at the title?
Você já encarou a campeã 2 vezes. Tem mais alguém que você acha que você precisa enfrentar antes de enfrentar a campeã novamente?
Right now, I'm concentrating in doing other things in my life. You know, I only know this. You know, I'm moving to Albuquerque, buying a nice car and a fancy dog. That's all I want now.
No momento eu estou focado em outras coisas. Eu estou me mudando para Albuquerque, no Novo México. Vou comprar um novo carro, uma casa, um cachorro. É isso a minha vida.
Well, it was a tremendous performance. Best of luck in your transition. Congratulations, Claudia Gadelha.
Claudia Gadelha here tonight, Dom, and you got to think at some point they will close that octagon door behind Gadelha and Jędrzejczyk before their careers are said and done.
I don't think you can deny it. I don't think you can dodge it. I think it's just a matter of time. Gadelha is that good, and so is Jędrzejczyk. I think these two are the cream of the crop of the division right now, but there's always up-and-comers, and Sean Shelby, I have a feeling, has a trick up his sleeve. He's going to add someone to the roster soon.
Well, Rose Namajunas is in this mix, but Claudia Gadelha came in the #1 strawweight contender. She gets it done here tonight. Well, July 8th, the Octagon returns to Las Vegas, Nevada for a championship doubleheader at UFC 213. What a night we have in store. One of the biggest pay-per-views of 2017.
I mean, this is just a stacked evening.
Shevchenko will be next for the champion, Amanda Nunes.
Doesn't get any better than that. Can't wait.
Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker.
It's an outstanding matchup. Lawler.
Cowboy Cerrone.
Dream fight right here. This card is amazing.
Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legends.
Well, International Fight Week 2017 has been built around the monster that is UFC 213, Nunes versus Shevchenko 2. Here's the pay-per-view main card. A lot of fans, of course, with their eyes on this interim middleweight championship fight between Yoel Romero and Robert Whittaker. Guaranteed entertainment in that welterweight matchup. Robbie Lawler, Donald Cerrone. This is the gift that keeps on giving, man.
This is an insane card. Amanda Nunes has looked phenomenal, and Yoel Romero may be the scariest human being on this UFC roster.
All right, now live from Jeunesse Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, it is time for our main event for UFC 212, Aldo versus Holloway. Well, 10 consecutive wins have put momentum on Max Holloway's side. But to be the man tonight, he will have to beat the greatest 145-pound fighter of all time, Jose Aldo, in Aldo's backyard.
De todo atleta sonha em estar no maior evento e ser campeão, né? E eu pude fazer isso e desde aí eu não parei até hoje.
There's these guys, they keep doubting, they keep telling me I can't do this, kept telling me I couldn't hang with the top 5. Now they're telling me I can't hang with Aldo.
Who in here wants to see a Hawaiian fight for a belt that's named Max Bless Holloway? Let's get the real one!
It's time to just prove to the world why I'm the best to ever do it.
Acho que a mensagem que eu deixo, pode ter certeza que o Aldo vai vir muito agressivo. Onde a luta estiver caindo, eu vou estar vencendo, eu vou estar batendo. Pode ter certeza que a vitória é nossa.
Max Holloway will finally get his shot at the UFC featherweight title when he competes against Jose Aldo.
And it's all over! Jose Aldo!
What Max Holloway has shown is an incredible ability to adapt and a truly diverse skill set that has allowed him to fight in a variety of different ways.
People set the bar, bars are meant to be broken, you know, I'm here to break.
The big question though is, does he have what it takes to beat the long-standing champion, Jose Aldo? You're looking at a guy with more victories in championship fights as a featherweight than any fighter that's ever lived.
Jose Aldo!
It's one of the most important fights in the history of the 145-pound division and an incredibly important fight in the sport today.
I've been getting ready for Aldo since I was 17 years old, and I'm here. He's still one of the best, he's still at the top of the division. But it's time for a new era.
Eu falava que queria lutar com ele Então eu já sabia disso, ficou inventando um bocado de história na internet, mas quando ele pôde ver, aí no frente a frente ele viu a coisa séria que é. Ficou quieto, lógico.
Just make sure you make that walk. In your hometown, it's so hard fighting this guy. We had to fight him in his hometown.
Always getting hurt and pulling out.
Hashtag where's Jose Aldo? Let me know when you guys find him. I'll be waiting.
That's what kings do. Kings go to other kings' village and they dethrone them and they take everything that they got. I see you, Aldo.
Well, BJ Penn was the last Hawaiian UFC champion back in 2010. Does anybody embody the Hawaiian fighting spirit more than this 25-year-old, the oncoming force, Dom, that is Max Blessed Holloway?
I think him and Yancy Medeiros have a good pull for it.
Yeah,
I think both these gentlemen, they fought on this card. I think they're representing Hawaii very well. Max Holloway is one of these guys that just here, I mean, he believes it. You can see it in his face. You hear it in his words. I've watched just his interviews have evolved. I mean, I know that sounds hard, but this is a sport where we're expected to do everything, to get better at everything. No other sport are we put in front of the camera. No other sport are you just forced to promote this or you don't get the money that you possibly could. Max Holloway is here to promote. He's here to win. He's here to be champion, and he's proved it, and he's saying it. He thinks he's the best in the world, and this is the way that he's proved it. And look how happy he is to finally get this opportunity. It's going to be fireworks tonight. We hear that a lot, but this is serious business tonight.
And he's done it all his way. He didn't leave the island to go find a mega gym, right? He built the gym around him and around his family. And with everybody around him that embodies the same spirit, his confidence is through the roof. He's talking about now cleaning this division out. He believes that he is the better chess player in mixed martial arts than Jose Aldo. He's got more depth and he's more diverse, and that's why he's going to win tonight.
There have only been 6 fighters in the history of the UFC that have won 10 or more fights in a row. Max Holloway is among them. No featherweight in the history of the Octagon has more wins than that man. 10 consecutive entering play here tonight. Won the interim belt with a win over Anthony Pettis at UFC 206 back in December. He has been wanting to fight Jose Aldo since he was 17 years old. His expectation tonight is that he will see an improved prime Jose Aldo as he tries to leave enemy territory as the unquestioned #1 145-pound fighter in the world. And hard to see a lot of glaring weaknesses when you break down the film on Max Holloway, right?
There are none. When this man gets into a rhythm, it is unbelievably difficult to stop. Jose Aldo's jab and his leg kicks have got to be able to do that tonight if he wants to win.
King of Rio. It is a title that has been reserved for this nation's truly elite athletes, and at present, that is the King of Rio. And I know, Brian, you like the look in his eyes as he makes the walk tonight.
He always seems to rise to the occasion here in Rio. He goes in there, there's always challenges, there's always things outside the cage that seems should be affecting him, or when he should fall off the mountain. But man, does he shine brightest under these bright lights here in Rio. Devastating strikes, outstanding leg kicks. He believes his biggest advantage tonight is actually on the ground, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe look for a takedown or two, but that's not necessarily his main game plan.
I love the way that Aldo and Andre Pederneiras get along, though. These guys have stuck together since the beginning. Pederneiras has built that whole squad, and there's just so much confidence between those two together. I feel like Pederneiras knows Aldo so well that he knows his vibe. He knows how to get him hyped. This team together are pretty unstoppable, and they proved it with the amount of wins that they've gotten. And Aldo always shows up, just like you said, Stan. People could say what they want. He's been hurt. He only fights every once in a while. You could try to say that, but he always shows up and always faces the best on earth, and it's always an awesome fight.
He had won 18 fights in a row dating back to 2005 when he ran into Conor McGregor in those ill-fated 13 seconds back at UFC 194. But in terms of this man's pedigree, offensively, defensively, I'm not sure there has been a greater talent when it comes to the striking game in the history of the game than Jose Aldo Jr.
He's technically outstanding, and athletically, he is very, very elite. There are world-class fighters, and then there's world-class athletes. This man is both.
It is about as good a fight as we could possibly put together. The wait for it ends here. Undisputed UFC featherweight championship fight between Jose Aldo and Max Holloway. Aldo 30 years old, Max Holloway still just 25. Holloway 4 inches taller. To the surprise of some, it is a 1-inch reach advantage for the incumbent Jose Aldo Jr. And now for the official introductions for this most anticipated main event, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Sanctioned by the Brazilian MMA Athletic Commission. Chairman, Rafael Favetti. Executive Director, Cristiano Sampaio. Commissioner, Caio Portela. Our 3 judges scoring this contest in octagon side are Guillermo Bravo, Derek Clearly, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon, Big John McCarthy. And now, Senhoras y Senhores do Brasil, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Jeunesse Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 17 wins, 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Waianae, Hawaii, presenting the interim UFC featherweight champion, the challenger, the pride of Hawaii, Max Blessed Holloway. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 26 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the former WEC featherweight champion and the current UFC featherweight champion of the world, Jose Aldo Jr. Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules in the back. I want you to protect yourself at all times. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard, but fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck.
It is the first champion versus champion fight to be staged here in Brazil in the UFC. The interim champ, Max Holloway, trying to make it 11 straight wins and leave here the undisputed king of the 45ers against the greatest featherweight in the history of the sport, Jose Aldo Jr. And with that touch of gloves, we are underway. Aldo is wearing the patented black and gold of a champion. Max Holloway is in white.
Now, we were talking about this, Dan. How is Max going to approach this? Conventional, southpaw, we've seen him do both. He's coming out conventional. Let's see how long it takes for Aldo to get the timing on the leg, start beating on it, and see what Max does to recover, or vice versa.
Well, Max has been a very difficult guy to hit in the striking department in his last several fights. One of the areas he has gotten hit, though, is with leg kicks. Ricardo Lamas landed 25 of 28. Jeremy Stevens landed 24 of 26. Cub Swanson 17 of 23. That is one of the major weapons of Jose Aldo. He will need those if he wants to limit that excellent movement of Max Holloway. Chop down the base.
Holloway presses forward, Aldo evades. There was a definite anxiousness here in Brazil when it came to the fans. They want this so badly for their native son, but they understand the challenge in front of him here at Max Holloway.
And Holloway is so good at getting your timing, your rhythm. He's not just a beautiful technician, he's very smart. Sees the openings, exploits them over time, just like he did in his last fight against Anthony Pettis. I mean, Anthony Pettis, an excellent fighter, beautiful striker. And Max Holloway was able to just find openings and put him away.
First fight in Brazil for Max Holloway. A lot of fighters might be intimidated by the setting. If you know Max Holloway, that certainly doesn't apply to him. His self-belief dovetails with his skills, resulting in him becoming one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Right hand is good for Aldo.
Look at the range these guys are fighting at, too. Right within each other's distance. It's a great range, great balance. These guys aren't leaning. It's very nice already. I mean, they haven't thrown a lot.
Excellent left hook as he left the clinch there for Holloway.
You're seeing the style differences, too. Aldo much more set. Oh! Holloway got big punches!
Jose Aldo follows up! Some early adversity here for the challenger.
Aldo looks quick off that first movement. His explosion is so well. Max always gets stronger as the fight goes on, so sometimes he takes damage in these early rounds. It gets stronger as he starts getting hit.
Well,
let's see what happens.
One of the signatures of this great win streak is how fluent he is with his movement, constantly switching stances, getting in and getting out safely with excellent combinations. He's a little bit standing in front of Jose Aldo right now, lands a nice right hand there, but this isn't the same Max Holloway we've seen his past few fights.
He looks much more fluid against other opponents. You're right, Stan. He's switching more. He's just more loose. He's more relaxed. He looks like he's thinking a little bit much, and he might need to relax as the rounds go on. We'll see as the fight progresses.
Under 2 minutes here to go in round one. Can barely hear inside this capacity arena.
There's the jab of Jose Aldo, a tool he used against another guy who's a high-output fighter, Frankie Edgar, and time again, that jab stopped Frankie Edgar's combinations dead in their tracks.
And don't forget, that means Aldo's used to the feints, used to the fakes. Edgar uses those very well, footwork, movement, angles. And right now, Max is using none of those, which he usually does.
And he's throwing with less volume. Typically, Max Holloway lands almost at twice the amount of significant strikes in a fight than Jose Aldo does. Volume was a really big factor in this fight, but that early explosion of Jose Aldo seems to have Holloway a little hesitant.
Max is waiting far too much, and Aldo's getting the better of him in this first round in the exchanges because he's waiting. Max has the height, he has the reach. He's not using it very well right now.
What else we're not seeing is Max Holloway using his side and front teeps to the knee to break your rhythm, to break your counter strikes. He does that a lot to other fighters Did it to Pettis, did it to Swanton, did it to Lamas. Not using any of them so far tonight.
And mostly when you see that out of Max, it's because he's in the southpaw position. He throws because it's close to Aldo's lead leg if he's southpaw. He hasn't licked southpaw stance one time, and that's one of his most effective positions.
Now it seems like he's starting to loosen up a little bit.
Spinning attack is good for Holloway towards the end of round 1, but a strong start for the champion, Jose Aldo.
And as we see here, Aldo fakes the right, comes with the left, and he throws the left 2 times, lands it once, hurts Max, then comes with the right and another left, starts flurrying on Max, throws a beautiful jump knee down the middle at the end of that combination that you missed, and then he fakes the overhand, comes with the uppercut. I mean, this is called putting 2 together, and that's what it takes to be a champion, because you see Aldo faking one and switching it to the other. That's putting 2 together, and it's tricking Max in that first round.
Goes to right, off to the right side, bring up the hook, okay? Let's get some of those, I mean, he brings those big left hooks. Let's go underneath it with the right hand. Let's not do it all the time. Let's bring it a little bit, then we gotta push it over going to the right, okay? Mix it up and build off of it. Use those fakes, okay?
You gotta make him walk backwards. You're brand new. Same game.
Hard to recall the last time Max Holloway lost a round for Jose Aldo Jr. Just so sound defensively, he's gone. I mean, the consummate moving target.
You know, he's just so fast. It's one thing to outstrike other guys, but this man's instincts, his reflexes, he is so quick.
And they both look looser in the second round. I think it's going to be a more effective round for both offensively. They got a rhythm now. They've been hit a little bit. They're warmed up. Oof. Perfect liver shot.
No leg kicks so far for Jose Aldo. You know, we haven't seen many in his last 3 fights, but 2 out of those 3 fighters were high-level wrestlers, and he said strategically, I didn't want to throw them because they were waiting to catch them. Here, he did say he wanted to kick Max Holloway more, but hasn't had to so far.
I think Max would do better to start going to the body early. He's having a hard time hitting Aldo in the head. Aldo's countering well, so rip the body, it takes away the counters from Aldo.
I'd like to see Max switch the stances as well. He throws very fluid from southpaw, and that makes it very confusing to defend him because he's so diverse.
Maybe his defense probably isn't as sharp in southpaw position in his own mind, so he doesn't want to risk it. But
has to be.
He has to do it, though, because it's what his gift is switching. And that teep kick he uses is so effective to hide his lead step.
Another good combination for Jose Aldo. Now Holloway returns fire.
When Holloway expected the toughest rounds to be early. He believes that Aldo, as we've seen before, will slow down as the fight goes. So, seemed very calm in his corner, but man, what a weapon it is to have this crowd behind you.
It looks like Max is kind of trying to weather the storm of Aldo for the first 3 and then pick it up as the fight goes on. But right now, he's not challenging Aldo a whole lot with the feints and the offense as much as he usually does, so Aldo can conserve his energy more.
And Holloway came in averaging 13 significant strikes thrown per minute. Well off that pace here early, largely due to the opposition that is the greatest featherweight of all time.
Aldo's defense just stays so tight. His hands are always up where they're supposed to be. I mean, he moves well, he doesn't bend.
Oh, best combination of the fight there for Holloway. And you know what Holloway does so well typically is he attacks you at multiple levels. He doesn't normally just headhunt. So far tonight, we've seen primarily combinations to the head, vice, the body, the legs with kicks, punches, elbows, everything. Max's creativity, his diversity is a big weapon. He's got to get to using that.
As he's getting warmer, though, you're seeing him start to feint. You're seeing him start to relax, and he's moving better now. I think as the fight progresses, you're going to see Max pick it up now. He's waiting a little time for Aldo to loosen up and wait for Aldo to get a little bit tired before he starts upping the offense, I think. And we're starting to see the offense out of Max now.
Aldo made 7 successful title defenses before running into Conor McGregor. Oh, big right hand from Holloway.
Got him with the right. Max is landing more effectively now. He's getting the timing of Aldo.
Yeah, and he used broken timing on his own. He delayed that right hand, and that's why it landed. That was a heavy, heavy shot.
These gentlemen hit with a lot of power. Can you hear it? Every time it lands on the shoulders.
You saying you don't want to bump up to featherweight, Dom?
Anything. Oh, big right hand landed.
Beautiful counter there for Jose Aldo. He's timing the jab of Holloway now. And Holloway came back with a right high kick because Aldo was slipping to the left of the jab.
Holloway just out of range with the uppercut.
And we're seeing the pace come up on Max. He's stepping it up now. Pouring it on a little bit better on Aldo now.
Prevailing wisdom was that if we hit the championship rounds, that Holloway would be the fresher fighter given his recent history. Less than a minute here to go in round 2.
Oh, that jab of Jose Aldo is absolutely gorgeous.
You see a pretty significant hematoma on the left side of the head of Jose Aldo.
Max starting to open up more now, landed a nice body kick. Something he does very well, attack the body. Hasn't done it often in this fight, but he should.
You see how Aldo's moving the trunk, but his feet stay stationary. That's where Max would do well to either throw the low kicks or go to the body whenever you see Aldo lean. And feint more.
Wow. I mean, who does that against Jose Aldo? Max Holloway does. Aldo cracks him with the right hand. Now Holloway able to land. Oh! Whoa! What a finish to round 2.
Awesome fight, awesome. These guys are going at it, it's beautiful.
Jose Aldo getting a little sloppy. Max Holloway lands a nice straight right hand. There, beautiful left hook, and Jose Aldo catches Holloway coming in. And there, again, the jab of Jose Aldo, one of his very best weapons. And there, as he faded away to the left to slip the jab, lands the overhand right. And then at the end of the round, man, these two putting on a show, going toe-to-toe. Holloway starting to loosen up, though.
You don't have to match it every single time. You got him. Right? Be smart. Hey, you got this guy.
Max, pick up the volume a little bit. Tap him out, man. Let's go. Tap, 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 huh?
So the Holloway corner calling for more volume, Brian. We mentioned one of their common opponents, Ricardo Lamas, and Holloway threw almost twice as many significant strikes in 3 rounds against Lamas as Jose Aldo did over 25 minutes of a championship fight. We'll see how Holloway chooses to attack here early round 3.
And that was the biggest difference in these two coming to this fight was the volume. Holloway averages almost 6 significant strikes landed a minute in comparison to Aldo, who's more around 3. Almost twice the output, but the jab of Jose Aldo stops a lot of volume.
And Aldo's counters are among the best in the whole world as well, so you can't just throw with reckless abandonment against him. You gotta feint, you gotta set everything up with 2 moves, or else you get countered by Aldo.
Third round of a possible 5 here to determine the undisputed UFC featherweight champion.
I'm really shocked at the lack of leg kicks by Aldo in this fight so far, because they're at such a close range as well.
And you know, I talked to him a few days ago, and he mentioned he was absolutely going to use that.
That jab of Aldo is being the most effective. Big right hand over the top of the jab of Aldo.
Holloway's starting to dictate the pace here. Pressure Aldo. And he's starting to get into a rhythm. And like I said earlier, once he does, man, it is hard to break it.
In and out, in and out. Max goes in and out and is making it tough. And just listening to his coaches, throwing the numbers, getting more rate up, getting a higher work rate up.
And he did it again there. He made Aldo miss again.
And Holloway is absolutely fine with this type of firefight. Big knee for Jose.
Big left hand by Max.
Tie up here. Holloway punches out.
And this is where confidence plays such a big factor. You come out here, Aldo has a great start to this fight, crowd in your ear, but now Holloway uses that confidence to overcome it, get into a rhythm here in round 3, and so far the best start to a round yet for Max Holloway.
Well, immediately following the main event, we will recap all of tonight's action from Rio on the UFC 212 post-fight show. Oh! Max Holloway knocks down Jose Aldo! The champ in recovery mode here. Holloway has Aldo mounted.
Excellent job by Aldo not to get stuck in the mount, but Holloway's not going to let him off the hook that easy.
Aldo's hurt badly. He's trying to recover, but he still can't get right. You can tell. He's trying to hold on to Max from the bottom right now and survive. He's doing okay. I think he's still in it. Max gets that mount. It's going to be rough. Nice by Aldo to recover. He's still in this. He's still got to get up, though. He's got to get up. Aldo can't stay here and win this fight right here.
Holloway with a big right hand.
Got him. It's over. He's got Aldo hurt so bad. It's looking over, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you wonder how many more shots here Jose can take. Thought about giving up the back there. Now mounted again.
Such a sturdy mount by Max. It's so hard to get him off the top. Now he's going to go to back mount.
Amazing groundwork here from Max Holloway against an excellent grappler, Jose Aldo. Not under the chin yet, but he may be able to stretch him out. Good transition for Max. He may be able to catch him here and flatten him out.
Oh, Aldo's hurt so bad right now. He's trying to recover.
Oh, huge right hand. Look at the beautiful floating of Max Holloway on top.
Look for the arm triangle here. He's got it. Aldo's giving it. He's giving his arm, but Max just wants to punch and look for the finish with the TKO. It's looking like just staying busy, non-stop.
Oh,
Aldo can't get him off.
The heart of Jose Aldo here on full display.
Oh, it's under the chin. Nope.
Holloway bails on the choke, now pounding away on Jose Aldo.
He gave a thumbs up again.
Oh, Aldo trying to stay in this fight, but the Hawaiian Holloway
still in it.
pouring it on. That'll do it. Max Holloway. Max Holloway is the undisputed UFC featherweight champion. Hawaii, stand up. Max Holloway has come to Rio de Janeiro and finished the greatest featherweight of all time. 11 straight wins for Max Holloway. Hawaii has a champion once again. Astonishment across this arena here in Rio.
Incredible to come down here to Rio and have the start of the fight be the way it was. Aldo protesting that stoppage heavily, but you just can't sit there and continually eat those shots. Big John in his ear letting him know he was exhausted at that point. I don't think it was going to stop.
And a lot of emotion is going to spill over here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. They put so much into this fight, and the king of Rio, Jose Aldo. But tonight belongs to Max Blessed Holloway. He has felt really for 2.5, 3 years that he has been the #1 featherweight in the world, celebrating with his team, his friends, his family. Max Holloway completes the mission tonight.
And you can't state how difficult a task it is to do what he did. Not just coming down to Rio and taking on a fighter as brilliant as Jose Aldo, but after rounds 1 and 2, where we really saw Jose Aldo fighting very well, countering him very well, Max came out in round 3 and seemed to have found his timing and his rhythm, and he was outstanding there in round 3 and get the finish.
I like that Max gave away the first round, said it's okay. Yeah. It's okay, go ahead, Aldo. Go ahead and land. He was planning this the whole time. He knew he would turn up in the 3rd round. Great game plan by Max and his team.
This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And Dom, it is going to take a special effort to dethrone the new champion, Max Blessed Holloway.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that this guy works after the first and second round, he keeps the rate up. He waits for you to punch back. He keeps the range so nice. It was a 1-2 pull, 1-2 basics. You wait for Aldo to counter, and then you fire again, 1-2. He waited for the counter hook, came back with another 1-2. Beautiful finish. Then he goes straight to the mount. Then he takes the back, goes back to the mount throughout this exchange with Aldo, passes the guard, keeps punching. Aldo just couldn't keep up. Max was on him, going back and forth from the back mount to the mount, knee on belly, punching, floating, wearing Aldo out from the bottom. until Aldo just couldn't escape anymore. And the referee had to stop it. This was the end of the fight. Right here, Aldo just couldn't get the hooks out from Max. He couldn't get Max off the top of him. He was almost hoping the ref wouldn't stop it and just let Max punch. But you got to protect the fighter here, and Aldo was looking like he couldn't protect himself.
Yeah, McCarthy gave Aldo every benefit of every doubt. Max Holloway, the official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. One final time tonight. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 13 seconds of round number 3, declaring the winner by TKO. And now, the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Max Blessed Holloway.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Max Blessed Holloway. Max, incredible performance. You've worked so hard, you've won so many fights. What's it feel like to get the undisputed title wrapped around your waist tonight?
Estamos aqui com o vencedor Max Holloway. Foi uma luta incrível. Você trabalhou tão duro. Como é que você se sente vencendo aqui esta noite?
First and foremost, I gotta thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Second of all, I got a lovely son at home. Baby, Rush, you got another gold one, baby. You got another gold belt. And I gotta thank these guys behind me, the guys over there. Without my team, I ain't shit. And I gotta thank Brazil. You guys showed me nothing but love over here. I understand you guys have to cheer on your fellow countrymen, but at the end of the day, you guys fight fans, and I love you guys for that.
Primeiramente, eu tenho que agradecer Jesus Cristo e meu filho. Tá aqui mais um cinturão dourado. Eu tenho que agradecer toda a minha equipe, todo mundo. Brasil, vocês me mostraram muito amor. Eu lutei aqui contra o compatriota de vocês e vocês só me mostraram amor essa semana.
Max, it seemed like you started a little slow tonight, but in round 3, when you got your rhythm, it was a left, right, left that started the onslaught. How did you feel about the finish?
Parece que você começou um pouquinho devagar, mas depois no terceiro round você acelerou o ritmo. Como é que você se sentiu ali no final da luta?
I've been telling you guys already, this is Bless era. Your Dana White, where's my 50K? I want my check. And I see you guys in Hawaii, UFC Hawaii. Make it happen, baby. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Max Blessed Holloway.
Dominic Cruz, how about it? Self-belief for days, and Max Holloway comes up as big as he has ever come up here tonight on the road.
Told everybody what he's going to do and went out there and did it. And he didn't just do it, but he did it with strategy. I mean, he used tactics to beat Aldo. You can't just beat Aldo. You've got to be patient. And he waited out Aldo's power. He waited out Aldo's explosion, waited out his quickness. And in that third round, he really turned it up. And that was a read that we've had over years and years of watching Aldo. And like Max said, he's been watching him since he was 17. With those kind of reads, you make the adjustments. Nice job by Max.
And we have watched Max Holloway evolve from prospect to contender to interim champion to undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world. Made his UFC debut before his 21st birthday, and here he is at 25 years old, carving out one of the all-time great UFC legacies. What a night of finishes and UFC action tonight in Rio de Janeiro. UFC 212, Aldo versus Holloway, has been brought to you by Exotics Racing. Drive supercars on a racetrack from $199 in Las Vegas and Los Angeles.
I got nothing to lose. I'm coming for you with a hard head and a bad attitude. Whenever you're ready.
UFC Fight Night on FS1. Two of the most dynamic heavyweight fighters in the UFC. Colossal men with the power to drop their opponents.
That is one punch knockout power.
Derek Lewis is going for his 7th consecutive win.
It is all over!
Facing legendary knockout artist Mark Hunt. For an epic heavyweight brawl on UFC Fight Night. Saturday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
Your move, Derek Lewis and Mark Hunt. You're getting a live UFC event every weekend here in June. The action continues next Saturday in New Zealand. And I hope they've got the cage reinforcements ready. Derek Lewis, Mark Hunt in the main event. Brian, you're on your way to Auckland.
It's all scheduled, John. I'm actually flying out there a day early to put more support under the octagon for these two massive heavyweights. These guys have such ridiculous power. This is a cannot miss matchup. Derek Lewis is the young guy, Mark Hunt the all-time great.
That's the main card. You can see it all 1 week from tonight on FS1. But of course, tonight is all about Max Holloway and this much anticipated UFC featherweight unification bout between Aldo and Holloway. Good start for Aldo. Holloway takes over middle of the fight.
You know, we've seen this, in the fight with Anthony Pettis. It takes sometimes Max Holloway a round or two to get your timing. Aldo was out here. He was the faster, more explosive guy. He landed early, but man, Max Holloway came on late in the second round, and in round 3, Dom, man, he just had his timing and believed in that big right hand.
And not a single leg kick thrown by Jose Aldo tonight. Max Holloway didn't even have to go to the southpaw stance to get it done.
No, and the beautiful thing in round 3 was he was getting in and getting out. He knew his range now. He had the timing of Aldo. He was not getting countered effectively anymore. And then the beautiful groundwork of Max Holloway, if you heard him, to maintain dominant position and get to this finish.
My favorite part of this fight was watching how tactical Max Holloway was in the first 2 rounds. He was willing to accept a little bit of a beating. Let Aldo use his explosiveness. Let Aldo use up his speed. And in that 3rd round, that's when you saw Max start taking chances and pick up the offense. That is strategy, that is tactics, and that's why Max won.
Well, we shall see who is next for Cub Swanson. Maybe it's Frankie Edgar trying to become a 2-division champion. But one thing is for sure, if Jose Aldo entered as the greatest featherweight of all time, Max Holloway might just have that title before all is said and done. Here's what's coming up in